Yesterday's conspiracy theories, tomorrow's headlines. Most are still asleep and I ain't talking about no bedtime. The truth is not a Google search, you need to get your head right. The Greek goddess of illusion was called Media and I'm not a coincidence theorist, I look for thread lines. Smashing every deadline, no longer smashing red wine. Though I can hear the bells chime, it feels like the end times. That probably should have been smashed on red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey and end up ghoulish. Don't get used by instinct, take control and learn to use it. Make a load of earnest music, earn a few quid, learn a few tricks. Sure, the truth is persecuted, this whole world is pure abusive. Know a bit about everything and everything about nothing. Figured out my noggin while you picture out shopping. You sit about watching while I dish it out. Stop it, I don't mean to sound cocky, I'm not even proud of it. It's a second nature to me, just to be this out honest. I don't even need to sound honest, never been about profit. Everything but out on it, you can bet your house on it. Doubt I'll be out for the count when the sounds, and I'm down for the beat, no beat down. I mean, how long's it been? Help me out. I've been the only one who's held me down. All in the mind, hell freeze now. Still sick with it, healthy how? Few bars down and the world freaked out. I don't reach out, I seek out to speak out. I'ma recount the reasons they beat out.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the 509 Divine Pines podcast. I'm your host, Joseph Daniel Pena, and it is April 21st, 2026. Man, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate every single one of you. If you guys could, please share this out. And if you guys would like to, please donate to my personal growth of this. Like, I'm self-funded, so every donation goes directly to me. This company is owned by me. So 100% of the donations go to improving my livelihood and this broadcast. So Cash App, PayPal, buy me a coffee down below, 509 Divine Pines. There are also supplements and sponsors, all sorts of valuables, things that will help you grow, glow, get healthier, get better. So you see down below, there are coupon codes and links to sites that I personally have used, and I personally will vouch for that these things work. If you guys would like to, that honestly, we all need an improvement in our life over the next few years, and how COVID left everybody like devastated and kind of like sick. It's wise to take initiative to better your health. And some of the companies down below that you will see, like Eagle Research, having a Brown's gas machine, a very powerful technology that will better your water use, heal you with Brown's gas, but also give you supercharged hydrogen if you want to drink that. You can also go to Shop C60 for a Nobel Prize winning compound that is by far the best antioxidant that I've ever used. It helped me heal. It helped my knee ligaments get stronger so I could walk and run and play basketball again. You can also go over to Okazi Clothing for workout gear. Demon Slayer and anime inspired workout gear. So everybody who, likes to feel slick, feel cool, feel fresh, and work out in some bigger clothing, like, big tees, big wide tees. Yeah, that type of stuff. Good stuff. Good shorts. They have some wrist straps. You can also go to Chemical Free Body for a powerful antioxidant, powerful cleanser, powerful parasite remover, things of that nature, where this is actually going in and removing toxins. That's the main goal of this, to remove all the toxins, remove all the chemicals. Chemical Free Body, that's the name, right? So by far has some of the best toxin removing supplements that I've ever used. after about a couple weeks of this, I've actually lost weight. So my waist has like gotten skinnier. My muscles come out, but my waist has gotten skinnier. And honestly, that's probably the best thing that anybody wants. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get through with the sponsors and go ahead and get down with man, these UFO researchers, these plasma researchers, alien researchers. It seems like there's a lot of researchers out here in this field that are in these government programs or that have been part of these I don't know, uh big room talks, I guess. You know, the people who are in those larger rooms together in meetings, and these guys are running plays by each other, and I don't know what else. That's all I could really come up with. But these guys are scheming, right? Or they're uncovering some very powerful information and they can't talk about it, but they do. um I don't know what's happening. Are they getting killed? Are they going missing? Seems like all around the world, it's a suppression, um, where the governments, like the big political government leaders and scientists, let's just say, what is it, Machu Kiku or something, and then like Neil deGrasse Tyson and all these mainstream guys, they want to shun and they want to like belittle, anything that's extraordinary, anything that's paranormal, anything that goes outside of the white Zionist, Freemason type of Kabbalistic control, where the less information that the public has, the better it is for the rest of the governments, right? The people who are trying to control, the less knowledge that we have, the easier it is for these controllers to control, right? Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into this now, guys. Let's go ahead. First clip: a top nuclear scientist just got placed on leave after James O'Keefe pretty much tricked him, got under him, um, set him up with a date, honeypotted him. Let's listen to this. Oh, sorry if it's not audio's playing. Sorry. Uh, I have to set the audio up. I have to set the audio up. Damn. That's why I need a producer up in the studio right here. Come on, producer. Where you at? Oh shit. There you go.
Missiles underground. In the Cold War days, we had them like all over the place. But now we've kind of shrunk them down with Russia working with treaties. But then now you got China that's like, well, I don't have a treaty. So China's building more. They're planning to build more than we got.
Okay,
So
really?
that's the problem. Like we have all these sensors in space. We have radars, all these sensors to detect a launch.
You detect the launch coming from someone else?
Yeah, with space satellites,
Okay.
with radars, you see it on the radar. You actually see the thing flying. You know how big it is, the speed. You know that's a missile. I mean, you can tell all this stuff.
According to Andrew Hogg, nuclear officials that oversee the missile launch procedures are trained to initiate a launch even if it is a Girl Scout who presents the launch order with the correct codes. Fire.
We're literally trained that, if a Girl Scout, this is serious, we were always trained, if a Girl Scout gives you a message, a launch message, she knocks on your door, goes, here you go, she gives you a launch message on a box of cookies, she wrote it down. If it passes all the checks, go. If she just passes it on to you, that's all we're trying to say. It doesn't matter how you get it, take action. Because that's how you have to do in a war, because you don't know. They can take down most of the communication.
Right.
So it's an extreme example, but we actually would train that. Like, no matter what, you go.
Man, yeah, this dude got kicked out immediately. Of course, you can't be over here trading nuclear secrets for some drinks. What a schmuck! What a schmuck! You think I'm over here trading podcasts, details about what I like to do over some drinks, over some dabs? First of all, I don't drink. Second of all, fuck no. Fucking ain't nobody get up under my skin, suck my dick. Next up, a single dose of newly discovered frog gut bacterium completely eradicates 100% of cancerous tumors within just 15 days. Let's listen to this from Nicholas Hulser.
Gut bacterium derived from a frog from like a Japanese rainforest. This bacterium called Ewingula americana. This bacteria was injected into the tail veins of mice with giant tumors. 100% of the tumors were eliminated. They disappeared completely. The cancer was gone with a single dose. And so what happened was through the injection of this bacterium, which is natural, by the way, it's not a GMO bacteria, it selectively went to the tumor site and destroyed it. And it wasn't in any other healthy tissues. They couldn't find it. It just went straight to the tumor. And it caused immune activation, hyperactivation to destroy 100% of the tumors. And so, I mean, it's absolutely shocking. And in preclinical studies, it's almost unheard of to have complete tumor eradication with a single dose.
You want to know what else that I heard eradicates tumors? CBD oil, RSO oil. Yeah, man. Honestly, weed lotion, all that stuff. Weed is a cure, but we got some troubling news, guys. David Wilcock, a well-known face in the paranormal, UFO, consciousness, disclosure field, a researcher for 20 years, 30 years, a book writer for about 20, 30 years, I believe. A semi-respectable guy. Where I mean this because in the first half of his career, he was a very devout researcher, and then in the second half, he got infiltrated by some bad guys, and they kind of fucking ruined his career. And he takes the blame because they just throw it on him. It sucks. So here is the explanation. Of let's just we're gonna go in and say like in order for what I think is best.
Beth wanted David to have absolutely nothing to do with Corey. She blamed him for all their problems. They spent half of that summer trying to negotiate with Gaia to keep from being sued. Now, I sent you, Val, emails from Beth and emails from David's attorney, Rafi. David's attorney said, from the investigation I've done and from what I've gathered, David Wilcock, you need to stay as far away from Corey Good as possible. Beth then said, the email I sent to you, I certainly concur. I blame him for all of our problems. Then I sent where David called me in a panic, saying to me, hey, Leon, you got to get me out of the DOD conference and you got to get me out of Cosmic Secret because both of them involve Corey Good. And Beth has forbidden me to work with Corey Good. And my marriage is more important than working with Corey Good. Get me out of these projects.
So Corey Good seems to be a very, very bad actor in all of this. Corey Good is the guy who says he was with the military doing some crazy expedition work on Mars, and he was a secret space soldier of like he and all of his other friends were like combative and killing people and doing special secret missions and all sorts of shit. Like secret 20 and backs and just like muddying the waters with, like, let's just say there is some truth, but for the most part, Corey Good was sent to s- muddy the waters and spill a lot of disinformation. Here's my buddy Stephen Kelly talking about and we're gonna see what Stephen has to say. We might have him on tonight. I sent him a link. But here's Stephen with David Wilcock and his writer, I believe, if I'm correct, that's on along his right side is another writer or his agent. Um, well, or is this is Carrie Cassidy? Well, hopefully we can get Stephen on.
Yeah, hello, it's Stephen Kelly here. It's 4/21/2026, and this video is regarding David Wilcock, who shot himself yesterday on 4/20 at his presumed residence in Colorado. And I just want to say a few things regarding that, because obviously I knew him. If I had to think about it, the circuit that we did, of course, the whatever you want to call it, there's not too many.
Stephen, we have you in here, bro. Hey, well, thank you. Sorry about the audio. But if you would like, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your loss. If you're a good friend of David's, I actually listened to a lot of David Wilcox stuff, like growing up, kind of in the mid 2010s. I would see his things, and it made me wonder. It made me open my mind. It pushed my ideas outward and into a more loving state because he promoted a lot of love and consciousness and I know that there's a lot of misunderstandings with what happened with Corey Good and how Corey Good kind of fucked everything up. Take time to go ahead and get that audio running. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this video. Then let this video play. So I'm gonna remove you. Get that audio fixed. I'm gonna let this video finish that you had recorded for David.
Yeah, hello, it's Stephen Kelly here. It's 4/21/2026, and this video is regarding David Wilcock, who shot himself yesterday on 4/20 at his presumed residence in Colorado. And I just want to say a few things regarding that, because obviously I knew him. If I had to think about it, the circuit that we did, of course, the whatever you want to call it, there's not too many people left. Jordan's gone. Sean David Martin's gone. Now him, I wouldn't put Corey in that category. I don't know who else to put in that category except for maybe Carrie Cassidy. Other than that, I don't really know who's left. But that's shocking, obviously. They say that he was depressed over money issues, primarily couldn't pay his mortgage, things like this. And obviously, as someone who's lives with nothing, and has had depression issues, I can certainly understand. But at the same time, I'm a little disappointed that he didn't do some things different. I will point out that for those of you that don't remember, that when he was involved with Corey Good and the whole Blue Avian bullshit, he got in trouble in Colorado because product was being sold under the pretense that information used to support said sale of product was true, when it was, of course, fantasy, such as the Blue Avian nonsense. Anyway, unlike Corey Good, David Wilcock did come out and say that it was only entertainment. And I guess this was the end of his career because obviously, up until that point, Gaia TV was a big deal at the Conscious Life Festival. They had a big, huge thing. David was the star. Corey Good, of course, had a big presence. I sure did. But there was money involved. And certainly anytime money is being taken from people, snake oil, huckstering, whatever it is, it's a big deal. Anyway, so history is what it is, but that's what happened, and that's what led him to where he is or was yesterday. I just want to point out, though, that even though a lot of what he said, I think, was bullshit, of course, and I didn't follow a lot of it towards the end because I think there's a lot of people in this community that say a lot of things that sound legitimate, especially with regard to, well, dare we say it, the Epstein class and the human trafficking and this sort of thing. But when you throw in the alien nonsense, then it becomes clouded, as Kerry likes to do. But certainly the Blue Avian nonsense didn't help anybody's reputation. But at a very early time, David was one of the few people who did talk about densities, and I believe he had some information, probably the same information I had from Billy Meyer. So I gave him respect for that. But either way, killing yourself is obviously never an option, and I'm extremely disappointed if we do that. He chose 420 to do that, so obviously we have to remember this, easily to remember him now. But at the same time, I wish he had taken some of his energy and his resources, no matter what his economic situation was, and devoted it to my mission. Imagine if he had taken his...
All right, let's get you in here now. There you go. All right, yo, Steven, you here? Still getting the mic fixed. So, I agree with Steven, man. It must have been hard for him. That's what a lot of people are pointing out, that it must have been really hard for him. But he was one of the only people that, like, ever since, like, I saw it was him and Alex Jones speaking like this crazy consciousness, density, love, and fighting the fallen angels, Lucifer, Clinton class, and like he had a powerful platform. So here's a little
These
clip.
people honestly believe that they are the descendants of gods, that they are the chosen, that they are God's special people, that we are delusional, and that the true creator is this wisdom principle that they think of as Lucifer. That wisdom principle gave us ancient mystery school teachings, and that the enemy, which they call Adonai, the adversary, which we would call the Christian God, came to try to defeat them. Then they even take it a step further and they look at texts like the Bible and they say that where it says in the end times that God will take the money from the wicked and restore it to the just, that we as a planet are the wicked and they are the just. So this is how they justify their financial corruption. They don't believe that we deserve the money. In fact, they believe that if they did not dominate us and if they did not control us and play all these games, that we left to our own devices would destroy our planet. So in some twisted rationale, they believe they are saving the earth. They believe humans are bad for the environment. We cause pollution, so they have to reduce population. Then they seed that into movies like The Matrix, where Agent Smith says that humans are like a virus on the planet. This is one of a variety of ways in which they will usually embed their teachings into the villain.
So David Wilcock was definitely on point with a lot of the things that he was saying about the political class. Just strange, man. Just very strange. It gets even weirder. So David Wilcock, and Winfrey. Yes, I can hear you, Stephen. But so David Wilcock and Winfrey died within a week of each other, and they were both writing a book on the reincarnation of Edgar Casey.
Audio
Just-
interface, little plug-in USB audio interface.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. We can
Hi,
hear
dude. You have the shit I'm going through. Yeah, you know what audio interface looks like?
you. Oh, I understand. No, there's a lot. I can. I understand.
That's not fucking audio interface.
So it is a definitely interesting thing to see that all across this field. So it's not just UFO. Look, it's spiritual, paranormal. What are the odds that the two writers of a very powerful book? Remember, Edgar Casey is known as the world's greatest prophet, the world's greatest psychic, bar none. History shows that, science shows that, stats show that, everything shows that. He had like more than 10,000 psychic readings, and if I'm correct, like 70 of them or more were accurate. Like 70% of them or more were accurate. Like
Joseph.
to the T. Yeah, I can hear you, Stephen.
Fuck, man. Hey,
man. Hey, thank you for being here.
hey, how's my audio? First of all,
you're a little loud, but
I'm loud. Oh, you're kidding me! Wow, that's cool. I'm using my fucking camera as the microphone. Okay, that's how fucked up this.
Hey, Logitech has some good audio pickup though.
This is not Logitech. This is OSB. This is Osbot. The $200 camera.
Oh, well, at least it has a good audio.
All right, hey man, David, what the fuck, David? Seriously.
No, well, it's not just that, but it's also also everybody dying in this field right here. Do you know much about this Winfrey?
Of course I do.
I've never heard about this.
Oh, you're talking about the scientists, dead scientists.
This guy.
Shit.
Yeah. So all across the field, there's a dozen or more that everybody is aware of nuclear scientists, plasma researchers, density researchers, consciousness researchers, and they're all just mysteriously popping up dead. And you know what? There's one more name that I'm very familiar with. That's Eric von Daniken, where he knew a lot about this.
What about Eric von Daniken?
He died a couple weeks ago.
At what age?
Yeah, but the age.
At what age?
He was a little old.
Seriously,
he was a little old. But,
I'm sorry, 90. How much?
He was
90 what?
He was 98. So
98 was it?
Yeah. Hey, but if you
wow, must be a conspiracy.
Anyway, come on, Steve. But when I listened to him on his interviews that he was doing with other people like Cliff Dunning and a few others, he actually sounded still energetic, and I understand that old age is old age though. So maybe not. Maybe it could just be a bad timing.
Right, come on.
Yeah, and but in general, like this is strange, David. We are this. Where's this picture I got right here? It's a web. Oh, here we go. Here's the web. Here's a small web for everybody else out there. So we got Frank Mywald, top scientist detecting signs of alien life, dead. Carl Grillmeyer, scientist working on infrared telescopes, dead. Melissa Casillas, administrative assistant of Los Alamos National Base, dead. Anthony Chavez, former employee, dead. So this base collaborates with the Air Force Kirtland base, nuclear research base. William Neal oversaw the research base, dead. And this is also oversighted with Wright-Patterson and Monica Jacinto Reza, who was receiving funding for her research in some of these fields, dead. She's also working with JPL, and well, one of the JPL scientists is dead. Now, this doesn't even add on that the three biological researchers at Air Force Patterson Air or Wright Patterson Base 2 years ago that mysteriously popped up dead. These were like 20 to 30 to 40-year-olds that one of them was working in genetics, one of them was working in human biology, one of them was working in cloning, and they all mysteriously wound up dead. So seems like dozens, man. What's your take on this? I'm gonna let you go on. I'm gonna let you talk.
All right. First of all, the plasma stuff is what's interesting because of what it's all about, and obviously nobody really knows. And the thing is, they were getting ready to get really close to it. But if you've been listening to me, I talk about that quite a bit. And if you take your pick, let's see. First of all, the most obvious is hypersonic reentry systems. The United States is very far behind the Russians as far as the ability to create vehicles that are able to operate in hypersonic. And one of the things about the hypersonic, of course, is it produces this plasma, which allows it to do these things, but it also is very problematic with any kind of a radio connection. Or in other words, the missile will lose complete control with any kind of ground station because of the plasma will cut off any kind of signal. So that's been a big problem. That's why there's people involved in that. But the biggest thing about plasma, there's two things actually. One is light speed propulsion, of course, and that's the thing that that's the real issue here. And the other one is basically it's something related, but you see, light speed propulsion is an effect. So in other words, if you take fine silver and you expose it to a plasma that is modulating at a very high frequency, but a very specific frequency. If you modulate a very specific frequency, the atomic structure of the silver will actually break down into a monoatomic structure, and that will actually be photons, ultraviolet photons in this case, and that produces basically laser light propulsion. And that's one of the big secrets. But the other thing also, of course, is that other materials, when treated to plasma in such a way, can do things like produce monatomic gold, such as the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant, of course, is such a device. And this is what was used to create the so-called manna or white bread that the pharaohs ate. And all that was a source of monatomic gold that used this sort of plasma resonance. So I suspect that this is something that is starting to break loose. When I was working with, I've been working with plasma since a long time. You know, we have the plasma beam flashlight, which of course is plasma. And I had proposed years and years ago that we could take this plasma and we could modulate it in such a way to produce a super high frequency, which could be used as a weapon, essentially, something like would cause a crystal to disintegrate or shatter. Steel's a crystal. And they wanted to turn it into a weapon. They wanted to turn it into all kinds of things. But it was eventually, when I combined that with my experience with the fine silver, which is what got the Men in Black guys all excited. And this, of course, was also related to the whole Billy Meyer thing. And I still trips me out when people say that guy's a con man and all that. But anyway, point is that it turns out when I created this process to do the silver, and I put it out there on the market, and it was picked up by the University of Colorado in Fort Collins, Colorado. And their research was primarily involved in aerospace and propulsion. And they had purchased this product from me quite a bit, or this service. And while during the time that they were doing that, I was able to find out from their engineers and stuff what they were doing. And basically, it was light speed propulsion. They were able to produce ridiculously large amounts of ultraviolet light by exposing this fine silver to a plasma. And I went on to learn that this plasma had to be modulated at a specific frequency in order to cause this process to happen. But it basically is what causes these beam ships to travel at the speed of light. Now, the other thing that's sort of interesting that I don't quite understand yet, but it's part of this whole thing, and that is the piezoelectric effect. And apparently, when they build these beam ships, there's all sorts of crap that goes into them besides silver. But one of the things they do use a lot of, apparently, is actually barium titanate, which is the second main component in the chemtrails. You know, after aluminum comes barium titanate, which is extremely expensive. It's like $5,000 an ounce. So I don't know how they could afford to dump all that stuff on us in the sky. But anyway, the point is that apparently barium titanate is, aside from having a helical atomic structure that's very similar to a DNA, it also has a piezoelectric effect. When it gets warm or you apply electricity, it moves. And so, in other words, piezoelectric means if you move it, it creates electricity or heat, or if you apply electricity, it moves.
Because these are like metallic biological substances that they are.
Well, no, they're not biological. I mean, obviously, it's a chemical. It's an element. Barium titanate is an element.
No, metal.
But
metal.
Well, crystal, whatever. It's an element. I don't know. I'm not a chemist, okay, but you can look it up. Barium titanate.
Yeah.
Whatever barium is, but it has an atomic structure that looks kind of like a box, and this box has got like a little X inside of it, and they stack these things up, and it causes it to look like a spring or a DNA helix, which is weird. So I guess that has something to do with the compressing the spring makes the energy out of it, but it's trippy. So yeah, but anyway, this combined with the silver and all this is what goes into making this stuff. So I figure what's going on with these scientists is that, I mean, because this is the same thing that happened to me, is they tell you, they say, you're going to come out to Area 51. You know, we're gonna take you out to Area 51 or whatever. And you're either, you know, you're going to go or you're not going to go. But obviously they didn't get me, but they tried like 3 times. And I suspect that that's where some of these people are. And the dead ones, maybe they didn't go along with the program, and maybe they got threatened, or maybe they just, whoever it was that was paying for their research took their research and got rid of them, you know, because they don't want that research to go any further. So a lot of people, there's a lot of speculation, because technically it's like they're starting to discover stuff that maybe the powers that be aren't really ready for us to have in our database, so to speak. That's what I think. Something like that.
So, just for instance, metal in some of these ancient tribes, Egyptian beliefs, Mesopotamians, and different esoteric cults who obviously the scientists of the world and the elites of the world worship and follow. They believe that metal is a living entity. So, like I covered one time on my podcast how the ancient Indians and the Tibetans or the people from India over there, they create this Suri Yantra, and it's this gold piece with a pattern on it and an imprint of sound and emotion and vibration. And so metal is able to resonate things. And so like I fully believe that like what's happening with these planes is that they're dropping these substances, and it's like it's putting people in a trance, and it's like it's making people go out of balance. The piezoelectric effect is definitely something that people can be controlled by. So from what I meditated one time, and this is clicking with my meditation, where I was looking at GMOs in the body, through my own body. When I was meditating down on my own self, I was looking at GMOs, like all these different substances, from foods, from from the planes in the sky. Like I was envisioning and how it would be in the body, and how these satellites and how these routers and cell phones can vibrate at certain frequencies and manipulate these chemicals, these elements, these GMOs, and these things that are well within our body, man. So
All right, let me explain that to you. Okay, you kind of got it right, but let me just explain to you how it works, because it just so happens that what we're talking about is connected to what you're talking about. So let me connect it all for you. Okay. All right. First of all, yes, the stuff they're spraying on you is meant to cause things to grow inside of you. Okay, and yes, they are biological stuff, and there are metals, obviously heavy metals, and there's all sorts of other crap that is like micro electronics, if you will. But the key thing here is this barium titanate. Okay, and the reason for that is because any kind of electronic device that you make is going to have some kind of an antenna. And in this case, the antenna is a helix. And the reason for that is because it's the same way as your cell in your body also has a helix, because the information it's receiving, because that's an antenna too, your chromosomes and all that are antennas, but the information they receive is scalar. Okay, so the scalar information is a pair of sine waves, which are exactly the same, but they intersect and they cause an interference program. The interference program contains information, but the information that it contains is on the fourth density. It's on the higher level of density. So in other words, by manipulating the information in the higher level of density, you can manipulate the reality in the third level density, and this is what they're basically doing. In other words, your DNA, your cells receive information from source, if you will, and it's scalar.
they're falsifying the source.
Well, they're not falsifying the source. They're creating artificial life inside of you that requires a signal, which is scalar, which tells it to live. Okay, it tells it to construct itself, it tells it to build itself, it gives it instructions. So in other words, it's like a radio frequency. It's similar to, yes, it's like a parasite. So all your Morgellons, all these clots, all these things that are growing inside of you, people who got their shots, their COVID, that's what it is. So in other words, the production of the spike proteins and the transmission of this stuff from cell to cell is what gets it all over the body. But biologically, you can slow down that by attacking the transmission or the production of the movement of the spike proteins. But those things also require a signal, and that's where the scalar stuff comes in. And the only way to defeat that signal is by producing your own signal. And that's something that I think we've discussed here on your show perhaps before. That's that whole service to self versus service to others thing. Because when you change your gravity, you change your signal, and you put out instead of take in, and when you put out, you kind of disrupt their ability to penetrate your body with their signal to tell that stuff to do what it needs to do to, grow.
Yeah, like the cell barriers is important. So it's like also a mental barrier, spiritual barrier. And if we're weakening ourselves through words or poisons and just the system beating us up, that those walls and those barriers are going to be so weak that anything could come in and infiltrate, whether that be a spirit, an actual parasite, or just a small hit that should have been not even a bruise, but now it's a cut. Like our body can be weakened, our mind, body, and soul can be weakened. That's why I love to promote like eating right, eating organic, eating strong, eating grass fed, livers, heart stuff, organ, beef organ, animal organ type stuff. Use organic seasonings, Himalayan salt, eat yogurts, Dairy products are good, man. It's a medicine.
All right, look. Here's the thing. Okay, you
I love
gotta
food. I
you
love
gotta.
food.
All right, I get it. I hear what you're saying, but what I want you to do for the benefit of yourself and everyone that's listening to you is you need to differentiate between these two things, because you kind of throw it out there kind of casually when you say physical barriers and biological or spiritual barriers and things like that. It's a little more, it's not complex, but it's a little more serious. Okay, you can't
Yeah.
just glibly connect those two like there's some sort of catchphrase. I mean,
Like it's
first of
easy
all,
for it's not easy, definitely.
well, let me just stop you. I mean, your nutrition and your biological, physiological ability to process the food you eat has a connection to your spiritual body and the spirituality and the energetic, the life energy of the organisms that you consume. Obviously, that is an energetic thing, but that's still somewhat biological. It doesn't have anything to do with your ability to protect yourself from this negative parasitical pollution, which is constantly trying to penetrate you. And the only thing that stops that is this uh, lifestyle that you have to have, which causes your body to actually emanate more energy than it takes in. Because that's really what it's all about. It's like you are in control of the energy that you take in. And the only way that you can protect yourself from the stuff coming in is by giving out more than you take in. It's real simple. Now, I mean, you could have orgonite around you, you could have shungite, you could do all these things to protect yourself, but it's like if you want this so-called spiritual barrier, like you say, you have to have a lifestyle. It's not just something you wish nice, and someone put something in your pocket. Now you've got a spiritual barrier. No, you don't eat something and get a spiritual barrier. You don't eat good food, pray over it, and get a spiritual barrier. No, you have to be over 51% service to others. That's the whole universe works by this rule.
Guide people to wisdom, show people strength and courage, be there for support when people are, facing their truest fears. If someone were being robbed at a store, I'm guessing I personally would stand up. I think about that sometimes. Where if I'm at a store,
When I was in jail, you visited me. When I was in the hospital, you cared for. When I was sick, you cared for me. When I was homeless, you took me in. When I was naked, you
those
clothed me.
things
When I
feel
was hungry,
love.
you fed me. That's do unto others and all that
That's
shit.
love.
That's what. Yeah. And then there's the greatest one of all, which no greater love hath any man had than he that would give his life for another, which is what this fucking mission is, right? Occupy the Getty is like, hey guys, come and fucking kill me, otherwise I'm gonna fucking take you out and save the world in the process. What more can that person do?
And I think right now it's a great time to look at that. Like it. A lot of people are wondering, like, are these scientists getting like Charlie Kirk in a sense, where like these people are, some of them want to, some of them, let's just say, some of them want to stand up and stand out, like the nuclear scientists who have some information, and then they start turning the cheek towards the generals or the commanders who are in that unit and oversighting the research, and they're like, hey, well, I don't think this guy's he's really down for it. I think we got to go
No,
ahead and
dude, it's not necessarily our government doing it. Could be the damn
that's
Chinese.
what I'm
Could be
thinking.
the Russians.
I am thinking that too.
Could be the mafia. Could be the aliens.
Is it
Could be the
is
Nazis.
is it just like what is it, the three body problem, where once the aliens realize that we are evolving, that we have the potential to evolve?
Yes. That's actually an excellent metaphor, but only if you watch Netflix.
Oh no, it's the books. Yeah, it's the books and the Netflix.
Okay, it was a book first. It's kind of a complex book. I like that thing where they do the human computer in China, millions of warriors. You know what I'm talking about? That's it's one of the scenes
where they have millions of warriors as people, or like
they're
as
doing binary computations using guys holding black and white signs.
oh yeah, okay, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we kind of are. We are like a binary code in a sense. It seems like ever since the last 50 years, if we've been a human breeding program. Is this the next evolution? Is this why all these scientists and researchers are
I'm sorry,
dying?
evolution, dude. No, we're having an extinction event. This is called genocide.
But yeah, of course.
They
For
don't
us, it's
they don't want
extinction.
their
For them, it's
secrets.
evolution.
Well, all right. Let me put it this way. Just to help out, if the information that they were working on actually did come out, there's a very strong possibility that somebody would probably figure out stuff that I have already figured out, and know how to turn plasma into a weapon that can destroy steel, break down vaults that go into elevators to underground bunkers, things like that.
Honestly,
But you know what they really don't want? They don't want any lightsabers. They don't want
want
lightsabers.
us uniting.
No. And they do not want us having secret weapons.
They don't want these plasma weapons
You know
coming
what?
out.
You know what the Bilderbergers said? This is what Carrie Cassidy told me. Speaking of David Wilcock and Carrie Cassidy, first of all, Carrie Cassidy told me that she was at a Bilderberger meeting, and she told me that the Bilderbergers, they didn't like me, but they didn't mind me doing shows and this and writing books and talking to people and crap and trying to share stuff with you. They don't care about that at all because they don't think it's going to matter. But what they really care about is when I made stuff. I invented stuff. They did not want that at all. So yeah, these guys, these scientists, if that stuff was to come out, things could have.
They're afraid of technology. Look at what they did to Tesla, Nikola Tesla. When Nikola Tesla was over here building his Wardenclyffe Tower, J.P. Morgan and the rest of these guys, they were fucking shivering in their boots. Like,
well, that was greed. That was just greed, dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the same thing though. Like sometimes we're on to great technology with our innovation, but
you ever heard of Tunguska?
Tunguska, yeah.
Not Tuskegee, but Tunguska.
The explosion above the air explosion over in Russia,
Siberia. Yeah,
Siberia, yeah. Yeah, very interesting. It seems like that was a UFO.
That was Tesla.
Airship.
That was Tesla. Tesla did that. Tesla did that.
Can you explain? I've never heard that.
Yeah, of course. They don't teach that in school. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. People, they don't. You understand that Tesla's book was banned in the United States until 1978. Okay, they wouldn't even allow you to even read about Tesla until 1978. All right, just so you know. All right, so yeah, I knew about Tesla a little bit before then, but anyway, he made his so-called super weapon, his
death cannon, ray cannon. Yeah.
And it was a scalar device. Okay. It was a scalar device. And he decided to aim it at someplace part of the world that he thought it wasn't going to hurt anybody and nobody would really know about it. And he tried it out. And we tried it out. It was more devastating than he could have possibly predicted. And he immediately took the thing apart and said he would never build it again for anybody, no matter what. And that's what it was. But the funny thing about Tunguska is that, yeah, it created a big giant crater, except there's no evidence whatsoever of any meteorite. They've gone there. I mean, first of all, in order just to even go out there and figure out what happened, Russia had to put together an expedition, and they had these scientists go out there, and they had to travel a long time just to get to where this thing happened, out in the middle of nowhere. And there was the trees were all flattened all around, of course, but there was no meteor. Not a bit. Nothing. No evidence of any type of extraterrestrial whatever.
It looked the trees were more of extreme air pressure pushed to the ground, and it was signs of more of an air explosion.
But here's the thing that's most interesting. To this day, that area is famous for having plant life that grows there that's abnormal. Okay, it's like mutated, and it has special effects. In other words, they sell this stuff as a medicinal type thing because it's, whatever, mutated. So in other words, the scalar signal that was used to cause this, whatever it caused, also altered the DNA of the plant life in the local area.
Well, that's what the pyramids were known for too. When you hear the stories from the local tribes and Well, this is proof, though. People have taken seeds down into the pyramids, in South America and all across, the different
All right,
pyramids all
let
over
me
the
explain
world.
to you how that works. Okay, the pyramids are basically giant crystals. Okay, and they're not just crystals; they're also made to be ultra
Conduit.
stable. Okay, stable. In other words, heavy, and so they don't move. And the reason why they do that is because of vibration. Okay, because things vibrate. People walk by and it vibrates, and there's micro vibrations. And when you're doing this stuff, atomic stuff, it's got to be really, really super stable. So that's why they made these big, heavy things to be stable. But the interior of it, where they were doing this stuff, like you say, with the genetics and all that, is they would have these different types of crystals. And when I say different types of crystals, I mean granite, different types of granite, what have you. And it caused a like a Wilhelm Reich thing, or it collected orgonite.
Yeah.
Okay, orgo.
Piezoelectric energy.
No, not piezoelectric energy. Piezoelectric energy is completely different.
Well,
all right?
the limestone's underneath and
No. That's not piezoelectric. Piezoelectric is either thermo or mechanical or electronic. Okay, thermal, mechanical, electronic. Orgonite is ambient energy. It's like electrons. Okay, and when I say electrons, I'm not talking about it's ions. Okay, it's not electrons. It's more like ions. You have positive and negative ions. Okay, just floating around, and these positive, negative ions could be oxygen, it could be hydrogen, it could be whatever. But that's the ambient. That's the atmosphere around you. Okay, that's like that. But there's also the field of energy around you, which is kind of like the same thing. So in other words, it's like when you're trying to move energy and all that shit. I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to teach you how to do that right now, but
no, I
it's
understand.
just it's like air. Okay, it's like air.
Electrical.
All right. If you no, not air, not electrical, fucking air, like the air you breathe, like something that has volume, or like water that you swim in. Okay. So imagine that you're swimming in a sea of energy, and it's like a sea of air, and the sea of air has a bunch of different stuff in it. It's some oxygen, some nitrogen, some hydrogen, and all this stuff, and a whole bunch of little particles. Okay,
Carbon.
including plasma, carbon, whatever. Not much carbon, thank God.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, plasma is the fourth state of matter. It's when the electrons that make up a molecule or an atom, you got electrons floating around whatever, nucleus, protons and shit. When you start pulling off electrons, those electrons become plasma. Okay, so that's what it is. And so, in other words, it's like when a rocket is flying at Mach 10 through the atmosphere, it's causing the atmosphere is causing the atmosphere to shed electrons, basically, and those electrons generate plasma, which kind of like gather around the damn thing.
Which is where the meteor effect looks like. The meteor is ripping through and it's causing like these fields, and it's because it's ripping through the atoms.
Yeah, I guess that's where you could say the glows and all that is coming from. But you see, here's the thing: is plasma is different, and just because you're going really fast doesn't mean you're making right.
But just the effect of it, the visual.
Yeah. It's the mechanics. Okay, I get it. But anyway, isn't that funny? All right, let's talk about David for a second here. Okay.
Well, David was very interested in this plasma research, density research, and. Can you tell me?
How come you never talked to me, fucker? Seriously, David, why didn't you talk to me, dude? Come on, David. People actually would send this guy emails and say, "Why don't you talk to Steve Kelly?"
From your perspective, brother, can you tell me how fucked Corey Good was and how?
Oh my God, how fucked Corey Good was? He's still fucked. He's so fucked. Oh my God, he's so on the payroll. He's so fucked.
He's a CIA agent, isn't he?
No, guys wannabe CIA. All these guys are wannabe CIA. CIA doesn't really mean anything. I mean, people think CIA is like you actually work for the government.
Right. I don't think that either.
Okay, let me put it this way. It's mafia. Okay, so when you work for the mafia, you could be an associate, you could be a flunky, you could be all these things. That's what Corey Good is.
He's a mafia.
Okay? Because the CIA is a mafia, NSA is a mafia. Okay. It's all the mafia. You Jeffrey Epstein, it's mafia. Donald Trump, mafia. It's all big mafia.
So from what I'm reading online and everybody, even when I've heard Corey Good, he sounded like full of shit. And
He is full of shit. He's totally full of shit.
it sounded like he came in to ruin David Wilcock, Gaia, and almost if I'm correct, he almost tried to ruin Ancient Aliens and some of these History Channel like companies.
And yet he has 75,000 followers on Twitter. Can you believe that?
I think they're all bought.
Well, maybe, but they got to be really stupid. I mean, they sound like they're like, "Oh, God bless you and David." Okay, but here's the thing about Twitter. I went and looked at his Twitter page today because of David, and I saw that he just made a post April 15th. Okay, but after that, he didn't have any post. It was like 2015 or some shit. So he'd been nothing. All right, so it's like, yeah. When the state of California or state of Colorado sued Gaia TV because of David and Corey taking money from people selling snake oil, David said that his excuse was that everything was entertainment, and that was the way he tried to get out of it. But I think he still got hurt because obviously he didn't say it was entertainment when they were taking all that money, and Corey, on the other hand, still acts like this is real and has not said it's entertainment. So
cuckoo.
Yeah, so Corey's off there still talking the bullshit, and while David was trying to do his thing, and here's the thing is, and the problem is he did. If you look at like say Corey and David and even Carrie Cassidy, they're all pushing the Trump bullshit, and the Trump bullshit is the mafia bullshit, and it's all enemy. Now, obviously, Kerry won't have anything to do with me, and David probably wouldn't have anything to do with me because if he did, it'd be the death of his career. But
his career was already dying because from
you're right.
In the 90s, his books were kind of rising him and his profile. In the early thousands, the same thing, and then once Corey Good started infiltrating his fucking mind, and then it just fell off the road.
David never really had anything for a long time. He kind of died back in 2012. To be honest with you,
but would you say that like Corey Good was directly responsible for David Wilcock like turning
yes,
to a liar
Corey
manipulator?
Well, no, David will. All right, David did have some
issues.
Insight. He had some insight because, like I said, David was one of the few people I've ever run across that knew anything about densities, and seemed to actually have a little bit of experience, or not experience, but actually some knowledge about some of the alien stuff. And I don't really know where that came from, because I suspect it probably came from the same place that I got it from, was with Billy Meyer and the Palladians.
He said he had insiders. The whole time, David always said he had insiders, friends.
So in other words, he had nothing. It was just somebody else the whole time.
Nobody ever really found out who his insider friends were.
Bullshit, too.
But it did later on come say that his insider friends were also huge vouchers for Corey Good, so it could have been like some high level big executive big wigs, money.
Well, okay, again, Corey Good was just a complete bullshit artist. So if his insiders were connected to Corey Good, then it was bullshit from day one.
Did any of them have money before, like, at all?
Not that I know.
Oh shit!
You see, here's the thing. I never, I knew David and I met him at the shows and stuff, but I never really paid attention to his early stuff. It's just like Sean David Martin. I heard stories about he started young and he did this and he did that, and David Wilcock was kind of the same. All of these guys sort of passed themselves off as psychics. I would say so. Let's just say that David did that. Tried to pass himself off as a psychic. Anyway. Obviously Sean did that, and that's really what this stuff is all about. I mean, when you really want to get down to it, at least from my perspective, it's always been this way, and that is our so-called truth industry that we've been working on. And this is like most of the people that Carrie is dealing with, including Carrie. She'd like to claim this shit herself, are somewhat psychic, and this isn't weird at all, because this is what the CIA was collecting. And when I say CIA, of course, I'm talking about just that little branch of the mafia.
Yeah, they
But
want to go after these type of people.
well, they don't go after. They want us working for them. They want to recruit us. They want to manage us. I mean, it used to be in the 50s they would just kill people like that, but now they want them all on their side, kind of like the scientists. You know. But yeah, so David was one of the gang, and David obviously was very much still connected to the whole Carrie Cassidy money thing, because the Bilderbergers basically passed money down to her, to people like David and Sean and whoever. But again, it's like who's left? I mean, I don't know if you follow this crap, but if you look at these damn veteranos from our industry, now that David's gone, who's besides me, who's left?
Yeah, I think on your post you had mentioned one more. It was
Carrie
uh
Cassidy.
no,
Well,
it's
there's
not
Jordan
David.
Maxwell died. Sean David Morton
There we go,
died.
Jordan Maxwell. Yeah.
Yeah, but who's left? Who's left? What big name is left now? Seriously, besides Carrie
Yeah,
and me.
it's getting rough. And Slim Pickens. I don't even suspect that Bob Lazar might have trouble with his life here soon too.
Bob Lazar's not one of us.
No, but
Come on.
even like him just talking out is a problem for these guys.
Bob Lazar's always been an insider. He's a different kind of insider. All right, he's not. First of all, Bob Lazar doesn't do the circuit like these people did. These people were all part of the circuit.
Yeah, he doesn't do conventions. Yeah.
No, he doesn't do that. He goes to conventions, but
would you trust Bob Lazar and his material then?
I've met Bob Lazar twice.
You think he's a good guy? He said people say he's an amazing guy. People online through
He's not stupid. He's totally real. Obviously, he's real. Well, he's a physicist. Let me put it that way. He's really a physicist, and he really did work on the stuff he worked on. But his job was to leak stuff. You know, he's still kind of on an insider. He's just in the respect that he's still in it, like all of David or whoever. Yeah, he's also an insider, but he's a different kind of insider. But yeah, he's real. Let me put a funny thing about Bob Lazar. That now that you mentioned it, the two times I met him were over the plasma beam. Remember I told you about my big plasma beam flashlight? I used to show that thing off in Vegas, and every time I had it on my table, he would show up and trip on it. He wanted one really bad. He said he wanted it to vector in UFOs.
That's fucking down. Hey, I think he was serious then. I think he
was
knew.
serious. He was serious.
I think
it's
I like
true.
listening to him.
Of course, it's true.
Yeah, and especially what happened with Area 51. Like they really covered up a lot of scientists. They moved people in and out, knocked people out, and they drug people up so they don't remember shit. It got pretty bad. Like especially after the Cold War, it turned very secretive and very operative.
Sorry.
Man.
Huh? Cold War, yes, Cold War.
Yeah, after the Cold War, like everything went Black Ops, and then shit starts. It seemed
all right. Well, like I told you, like I just got through saying here just a moment ago, in the 50s they used to kill us. Nowadays they want us on their side, and interestingly enough, the reason for that is because the Russians started with the whole parapsychology thing. I remember in the 70s when I was getting exposed to this stuff. I mean, it was early in the 70s, very early 70s, maybe late 60s. I was getting exposed to this stuff, and the United States was just starting to try to play catch up with the Russians with this whole psychic stuff, and so yeah, they've been at it ever since, and their attitudes have been changing because it's like, for instance, if you are a UFO person, you're running after, you're making trouble, and the men in black have to deal with you, or if you are some kind of psychic and you are having amazing skills being developed, they would screw with you really hard. And nowadays they don't do that. Nowadays they're going to try to, either if you're an inventor or whatever, they're going to try to get you out to Area 51. They did that to me, or or if you're a psychic, they try to recruit you to do that stuff, because that's like super, super important to them, the psychic stuff. Very important.
Yeah, they've been looking for abilities, and that's one of them. So, this whole thing with the Human Genome Project that I'm more well aware of, it kind of ties into this. Where over the last 30 years, the governments have been searching all around the world for humans who have these special abilities, the divine abilities, and also they are secretly looking for any of the children or any people like us who can transcend and shift into these spiritual states that can access these crafts. So when they go and hijack and abduct people, sometimes it's to check on the genetics and see if these genetics can start these crafts, start these artifacts.
Who's telling it? Who's saying this stuff? Just out of curiosity, who says this stuff?
I've been researching a lot, and
I know, but
some
when
of this
you
is in my
research it,
meditation. Some of this is in my
oh, okay.
meditation where I'm seeing, but I'm also like
Well,
I'm aware of what's
well,
happening.
okay. What I'm just saying is you're right, but then there's some details that are a little bit off. But you're right. Okay, but it doesn't quite work the way you're. Okay, let me just start with a Human Genome Project first of all, because what you're talking about with the whole skills thing isn't really connected. They can't really identify that through the genome. But I'll tell you what they do. I'll tell you how they do both. We'll start with
Yeah,
the genome.
I didn't think so either.
All right. Well, I was involved in the genome shit way back when. In fact, coincidentally, that was going down during Clinton. Okay, that was when they were trying to solve that shit, was during Clinton, and that was when we were doing the whole Getty shit. And what they were doing, and what was the biggest thing that they were trying to do back then, is they were going to Mount Ararat, and they were collecting biological samples from what they thought was the ship's toilet on Noah's Ark. And they were going to take these samples and they were going to separate whatever, and they were going to use the human genome to do this. But the human genome is only half the damn thing. Okay, it's only half. It only what the Human Genome Project allowed them to do was to develop CRISPR. Okay, because before the Human Genome Project, the main thing is what they learned from that was they learned about the repeating. What are those things?
Nucleotides.
No, there's a word for it. We use them a lot in words. When a word means something the same way, spelled forwards or backwards, what is that called?
Oh shit! I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
It's not a
CRISPR. Repeating. Anyway, okay. What it is they find these things. Palindromes. They're palindromes. Repeating palindromes. That's the P. The P in CRISPR is palindromes. Okay. Fuck. Like I'm supposed to remember this shit, right? Anyway, okay.
I know these fucking words.
Yeah. Okay. So the Human Genome Project basically discovered repeating palindromes. Okay, and it was when they found that they could map the DNA, and then they could figure out how to manipulate it, and then they came up with the COVID and everything else and all that bullshit. So that's where what the Human Genome Project led to. But the main reason why they did that, aside from this other stuff, was that they were trying to identify who came from the Ark and who didn't. Okay, because there are two arcs, and you know where the other arc is? Iran, dude. Iran.
I have heard something like that.
You heard something like that. Oh yeah. People go, oh yeah, Noah's Ark anomaly in Iran. Yeah. Well, guess what? It's not Noah's Ark.
But so to add on to that, to see which DNA came from the Ark, I also think that they're also trying to find out what genomes are linked to the Nephilim too.
Yeah. Okay, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Maybe. That's Anunnaki. That's like trying to.
No.
It's the same thing. In a way, it's the same thing. All right, let's fuck that fallen angel shit.
Yeah. Anyways,
let's all right, you're talking Jewish shit. All right, let me go straight to the shit. You're talking Jewish shit. Okay, first of all, this whole human genome thing is Jewish shit because they're trying to figure out who's Jewish and who isn't Jewish. Because everyone that came on one ark is Jewish. Everyone who didn't come on the other ark is not Jewish. That's what they're trying to figure out. They want to know who to kill and who not to kill. Okay,
Oh shit!
that's what that shit's all about. Now,
I didn't know that.
yeah, well, that's what I'm telling you. That's what it's all about. Who they kill and who they don't kill. So when they do their COVID shot, they know which ones to make for the killing people and which ones don't kill people. But that's what the bottom line is. Okay, they've been trying to do this since the flood. Get rid of whoever was on the other boat. Okay, a lot more people were on the other boat than were on the damn Noah's boat. Anyway, fuck Noah's boat. Anyway, so back to the other thing. Oh, I forgot what it was you're talking about. Okay, skills.
Yeah.
Okay, the way they get the skills, yes, is through abduction. They're looking through abduction, and they are, but it's not just that. When they abduct the people, the kids, and of course they're going through tons and tons of them. You know, like 1 million of them, so about a year, right? And out of that number, a certain percentage will actually have some sort of psychic skills. So yes, those kids are sent off to training, and that training is actually at the Getty. That's one of those things that they do there is they train the Sith. Okay, that's what they are. They're the Sith. They started out as children. The other thing they're doing there is they are looking for genetic stuff. Like for instance, and again, they're doing this to children, but they're looking for superhuman skills. And when they say superhuman skills, the number one superhuman skill is long life. Okay, they want to live forever. Okay, that's the number one thing they're trying to do is extend their life. And the other thing they're doing is they're testing. Okay, so they're doing shitloads of biological experimentation, genetic experimentation, all this stuff to these kids. So they're not just extracting adrenochrome, they're also analyzing what all the aspects of that kid, you know, physiological, spiritually, etc. And they're experimenting and doing all kinds of ridiculous Nazi experimentation, you know. And then, of course, depending on whether or not they're useful, they'll either send the kids off for torture and sexual whatever, or they'll turn them into like cows where all they're doing is sucking adrenochrome out of them for the rest of their lives. You know, if they produce a lot, high quality, they'll just, you know, they'll be like, you know, a whole bunch of them just lined up with needles and, you know, stuff, and they'll collect them. They'll keep them they keep them on drugs, and the drugs that they keep them on are actually monatomic gold. What do they call that stuff? People seem to think it's a good thing to eat. Anyway, yeah, I'm not. It's like a drug, and then, but it also enhances psychic skills. So yeah, if they're sucking this crap out of the children, they want to do that.
Putting them in tubes and chambers. From what I've heard, like in stories of UFO experiencers and that say that they got abducted, when they say that they get
the same thing.
Well, no, right. But so, well, some of these people
two
are
different things entirely.
Right.
Absolutely two different things entirely.
But it's leading me to a similar thing where these experiencers are saying that they get a slight glimpse of waking up and they see like huge rooms of chambers of bodies just put it on tubes and like a cloning center and genetic center, genetic experimentation.
The people that are, you know, that's very possible that people are abducted. They think they're getting abducted for some sort of a, you know, alien type of thing. But yes, they are being used for, you know, basically harvesting, and they let them go. I mean, that was the idea. The government basically wanted the, you know, the Greys or whoever was doing this to let the people go after extracting whatever, you know, but that doesn't always happen. Normally that stuff is done in the 4D, but certainly, yes, there would be a my lab type of thing where they might fake alien thing, or even aliens could be doing it where they were actually, you know, like in the 3D doing an abduction. But that's not likely. Usually they do it in the 4D, but yeah, it's bad. But yes, underground in these stupid things where they are harvesting the actual adrenochrome, they do it from people like once a day, you know, and they turn them loose. There's certain kids that they do that with, and then there's kids that are stuck there all the time that are getting the stuff sucked out of them. And then there's kids that they just pass down into the molest and torture and kill and eat business, and then there's the whole ritual sacrifice. Battery's running low. Hey, can you help me out with plugging this thing in?
And just for instance, everybody out there who's listening in, Epstein's files and Epstein's mansion is a clear example of how fucking sick and debaucherous all these wicked pedophile satanic motherfuckers are. There's also a clear evidence that the elites in some of these governments around the world are working on human cloning, and some of these guys, these elites, make jokes that, oh yeah, I have a couple clones out there, and yeah, blah blah blah. Well, it's sickening, and it's true. Where we see now in 2026, I don't know why, but like these clones are fucking retarded. These celebrity clones, they some of them look alike, and they're getting dumber. They're getting dumber. Um, we kind of see it trickling out into society too, where now now farmers and butchers and some of these big time agricultural industries are saying that they're using cloned meats, cloned animals, and sure enough, it's not as nutritious. It's just not. They say it's for cost production value, to go green and save the economy. Fuck no. It's because they're just trying to adapt us to this transhumanistic reality, I guess you would say. I personally think that we shouldn't be tampering with God's. We shouldn't be trying to play God. And the moment that humanity tries to play God is when these heavens strike back. And I kind of think, you know, Stephen and I are along the same path, that along the same thought that maybe the aliens are fighting back with this, three body problem reference. These they don't want us here. Hey, isn't that the story of the Sumerian tablets where what is it, Enki or Enlil? Well, he didn't like, one of them didn't like how humanity was evolving, and he's like, screw these guys, let's destroy them. And that's the same thing over and over and over and over again.
I kill those guys, right? They're it's one of the guys I killed.
Right. No, yeah, but I'm saying though, there's always, it seems to be in history, there's always oppressors from heaven, from above. There's these higher dimensional entities, and they don't want us rising for some reason.
Higher level? Oh, what do you mean higher level? You mean what? Different density level?
Yeah, that's all I meant. Yeah, I don't mean they're better.
All right. Well, those guys that you're talking about, they're not higher level. They're just older. And they hybridized us, and they think because they hybridized us that somehow we're inferior and like animals. But no, we have souls. We weren't supposed to have souls. They tried to hybridize that out of us. But no, we're still human. We still have souls. And guess what? We get to kill them now. Thank you very much. It's
amen to that. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, that's right.
We kill a Gray, we kill a Draco, and we kill a Draco, then the Gray, and then the Anunnaki. So screw those Anunnaki. And I hate when people talk about Enlil and Enki and all that like it's important. It's like
no, but it was a reference. But what
I know,
do you believe in jinn?
Demons, yeah, they're demons. I believe in demons, sure.
You think for a quick question, just to have a little cool down. You think what's happening with the Mandela effect is because of jinns?
No.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break right now. 1 minute. I'm gonna go ahead and get a smoke. I'm gonna get something to drink. So let's go ahead and play this Billy Meyer commercial.
I've been there for a minute, pursuing, doing the damn, and pursuing, doing the damn, do everything everything that I said I would do. I gotta have it, so that I would do. I gotta have everything I'm glad to be. Glad to see everything I'm coming my way. Believe I'll achieve anything I put my mind to, or at least I try mine. I'm avoiding these I try manifesting my mind. Living in the ease of thought, thought I hope and see the goal, the energy. It can't enter me, get me the feeling. It can't enter me, get me instead of me. Yeah, I proceed to go. Dead to me, I mention, gotta mention it's inside the soul. Gotta go inside, fuck the outside. Never tell lies, show pride, never believe. Gotta keep the range, believe. I just write another hit, getting fried, run another, smoke another blunt for the good, smoke another blunt. Bad times makes for the good, bad so it next matters. I just learned, no I can't hide. I just got every second is birth with the mind of that ancient soul who's just waiting for the next soul. Who's just waiting. I'm always watching. I'm vision like a hawk, have them flock. Vision like a hawk, have them flock. Talking, have them knock. Knowledge that I'm dropping, knock. Coming out the knock. Drop lock, coming out the knock. That's it. Tuition, nothing wrong. That's it. Tuition, knowing what you feel is right. Everybody, what you feel is right. Feel it in the night when I'm dropping knowledge. In the night when I'm needed, any call. Never even needed people calling people what they want. I do not people control over anybody. Do it for the pride. That's the reason that they push it. Do it from the cog that they push it. Got the money, want the money, only got the money, on the mob shit. But I know they ain't gon' make it. Shit is pop. Know they ain't gon' make it. Shit is pop. New age topics. Revolutionary crusade cross. It was never to a day frost. Yeah, we entering a new place. Yeah, we Louis V on my shoelace. Louis V on my face. Yeah, I'm wondering what you chase. Yeah, I'm just another dude caught up in the rat race. Dude caught up in my race. A lot of people looking at me sideways. I just keep your preparation ways. Just to meet your face. Cause I'm not ready to rearrange it. Ready on a daily basis. Tripping on weights. Dizzy face. Picture people that I can see through their faces. So I'm reading minds. Feel like I'm a basic. Feel like cause I feel the vibe manipulation. I'm patient. Yeah, I feel the vibe then want to change. Yeah, I feel the manifestation. Blessings is what I'm chasing. Quantum physics. I'm about to take the time and rearrange it. I think about reality. Can't feel like I'm basic. Most people shut it down. Don't wanna embrace it. Don't wanna embrace it.
All right, guys. All right. So, check this out. Look at what David Wilcock had said before he passed away. Here.
That I have every day that I have on earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that. Because frankly, people are disappearing, scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary. I got to say, it's a little bit scary, but you guys knew that I might still show up, even though it was last minute and I've had a really rough week. Like, you know, that's kind of like every week, but somehow we keep on making it through all of this. Every day that I have on earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that.
Man. Let's see if I have anything more. You're here. You're live now.
Plug it in, microphone in.
We're live.
Fuck. Did you forget I'm on the air?
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hey, you ready?
Yep.
All right. So, Jay Widener right here is making a couple of posts, and he's saying he produced, two of David's shows, and he's honestly holding Corey good to what ruined David's life too. But okay, so you didn't talk about this Winfrey. Can you tell my viewers out there? I don't know anything about this Winfrey. I'll be honest. You
got another viewer there, dude. I mean, seriously, you got another guy in the room? I don't see him. Where is he?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you said you had another dude in the room.
Oh, no. Sorry. I said I apologize. This Winfrey right here. Can you tell us about him, or do you know much about this person right here that just died with David Wilcock a week before? That was writing on this book.
Oh, I see. Winfrey with David Wilcock. That's interesting. Reincarnation. Okay, let me just read this real quick. Yeah, you're reminding me of stuff. Oh God. Cements the inability to two seeds of print piece of souls. All right. Wow.
Why is the mainstream so against Edgar Casey? Is it because he's a legit psychic? Yeah.
Well, again, that's kind of a loaded question when you say why is the public so against Edgar Casey? You're asking me to agree with you that that's true. And secondly, when you say is it because he's a gifted psychic, you're asking me to agree that he's a gifted psychic. So it's like I don't necessarily agree with any of those two things. But if I was to look at what is the ramifications of the connection of David, this person, and Edgar Casey, and whether or not Edgar Casey was valid for whatever, you have to consider what Edgar Casey was first. And that was a quasi-prophet. He made predictions. So he was attributed, his skills, of course, are attributed to having psychic skill, his ability to see, kind of like a Nostradamus type thing. He could say that. So in other words, that was his thing. He could say things are going to happen in the future and write this down. And that's what he did, basically. And then later on in the future, go, wow, stuff he said came true, blah, blah, blah. And of course, he also had proteges like Madame Blavatsky, and this stuff continued into stuff like Maria Abramovich. Hello?
You're saying Marina Abramovich is an offshoot of Edgar Casey?
Offshoot of who did I say? I came after Edgar Casey?
Madame Blavatsky.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, there you go. That's your answer. Anyway. Yeah. So, in other words, what I'm talking about is Satanism. All right. It is what it is. Okay. In other words, it's like I really don't care. But the back to the issue here, the question that you're asking me that I'm answering, I'm trying to give you is that he made predictions. He utilized the superconscious. He utilized his satanic teachings and learnings and understanding of the esoteric to try to access this information, and that's where he got this information for his thing. So that's all he did. He didn't go around and read people's minds, do healing, and do some of the other things that you might associate with a psychic. Okay, so now let's bring it up to our friend David. David, regrettably, that was his claim to fame for years, was claiming that he was the reincarnation of Edgar Casey. And I, of course, ignored that shit, obviously.
You know what? I did remember hearing that shit.
Yeah, well, I ignored it, okay? But, all right, let's just go back to why this is important or not important, okay? Again, like I said, Edgar Casey made predictions. He wasn't a healer. He wasn't a psychic. He wasn't Uri Geller. He didn't bend spoons. He didn't do any of that stuff. All he did was acted like Nostradamus and said shit was going to happen. Okay, so when David says he's the reincarnation, what does that mean? Does that mean that he inherited the gift of being able to predict shit? So I'm going to assume that that's what that means, and I'm going to assume that his career was based on his ability to predict shit. Now, that doesn't mean he had any connection to aliens or any experience in the military or the secret intelligence agencies, if you will, or the mafia for that matter. He didn't have any of that. What did he have? I don't know. You tell me. He thought he was a psychic? Okay. If he thought he was a psychic, what did he do? Did he make predictions? Now, Sean David Morton, he thought he was a psychic. When he was a kid, the little fat boy, he used to go around and he was like a celebrity because he went around and said, oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen, like some sort of a little prophet. Whether or not any of that actually happened, I don't know. I think what happened with Sean David Morton is he made like some prediction. It could have been like 9/11 or some stupid thing, but I did that too. I did a 9/11 prediction too, but I erased it as soon as it happened because I didn't want to get in trouble. Seriously. I had it on my webpage, my SK Industries webpage. I had a prediction about that shit, and when it happened, I erased that shit right away. I didn't want people to think I was involved, But anyway, like I said, those guys cashed in on that shit, and they were both con men. Sean basically went to jail for it, not just because he wouldn't pay his taxes, but because he used his so-called psychic skills to tell people how to invest, and he got paid for that. That, of course, is not legal. Now,
No.
David did the same thing. David and Corey both sold crap based on their alleged connection to some fantasy blue avian alien that they made up, and they sold product, and they sold it through Gaia TV, and they were huge. They were huge. If you ever went to a Conscious Life Festival, which is the largest
How much
thing
money
out
would
there,
they be making, you think?
let me just try to tell you, it's like Conscious Life is the biggest, well,
Expo.
convention, expo, yeah, whatever. And Gaia TV had a whole room to themselves.
Holy
It was like a
shit.
big VIP area. Yeah, it was the big VIP area. And that was David's thing. And David and Corey were like kings of that thing. And they had all the primetime presentations, and, seriously. So there was money being made, because if there wasn't money being made, they wouldn't have been getting that treatment, because they won't even let me speak at the Conscious Life Festival because I don't charge money for anything. They can't make any money off me. So yeah, they were making buku bucks off those guys. Then somebody got sued, and it all came crashing down. Fucking David couldn't make his mortgage payment, his tax payment. What I'd like to know, David, if you would have talked to me, is how much exactly did you owe? How much was that taxes? Because, I would have been the sort of person that would have said, gosh, I would have tried to help him.
It wasn't a couple million.
How could it possibly be a couple million? Come on.
That's what people are saying.
That's fucking ridiculous. All right. Well, you know what? I mean, David's a big boy. I'm a big boy. I declared bankruptcy once in my life. Hello.
Yeah, it's no
what
reason.
The fuck, David? Yeah, it's fucking stupid. You're going to tell me David couldn't find a girlfriend to shack up with? What kind of fuck?
So
all he had to do is comb his fucking hair. Seriously, all he had to do is change his fucking hairstyle.
I know.
Stop wearing
his
those
clothing.
shirt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yo, okay. This is where it gets a little interesting. So you just brought me a point. People are saying that his ex-wife Elizabeth happened to be part of a handler team. Like she was admitting that her family and her friends her people were of the like government handlers, and he was coming out on the streams like, hey, like me and her are having issues. I learned who she truly was and thing. And I also remember on some of his streams, he would be like, I'm channeling Archangel, this and that, and I'm channeling the spirit, and the spirit is telling me this. So he was dabbling in some weird shit. Like, you think he was Satanism? You think he was a Satanist?
Well, gosh, dude.
That's a yes.
He's not working for me, is he? He's not talking to me, is he?
Right.
He's not, have you ever heard him? I mean, okay, here's the thing. We were just talking about this tonight, how when people talk to him right before the end there, they were making references to him saying stuff like, you just got to find your Christ center energy and all this shit. That's just some pseudo Christian bullshit. There's a lot of that out there. And you're asking me if David was a Satanist. David took money from Satanists. David worked for the Satanist. Carrie Cassidy is a Satanist. She's a Bilderberger. Bilderbergers are Satanists.
Oh, shit. So she's the Bilderberger.
Oh, yes, she's a fucking Bilderberger. She swears up and down it's not true. She told me herself, she called me from the Bilderberger meeting and told me that, because the Bilderbergers wanted to kill me. They obviously didn't pull that off, but they wanted to kill these other two dudes too, both of who were friends. One of them actually worked for her. So
that matches in line exactly with what's in the Epstein files. Do you remember how he was emailing? He's like, hey, he was talking to some UFO researchers or paranormal people. He's like, hey, we need to make sure that this shit gets silenced and the people can't speak up or whatever, and like the stories get hushed away, and like, yeah, very strange. So, I think right now what we're seeing is definitely a push for this. Like, do you do you think if they were to try a Project Bluebeam, it would work? Because that's the whole fear that, oh, they're gonna try Project Bluebeam, fake an alien invasion. Do you think it would even work? Like, do you think it would?
You ask me if people are stupid or if they have the technology.
The technology, as far as being able to make this shit actually, like, because like
No.
I know I wouldn't be able to.
No.
I
They
wouldn't
don't have
be.
the technology. They're close, but no, they don't. It's space-based, and they're getting close, but no, it's not. Actual hologram projection, which is what Project Bluebeam is supposed to be, requires a really good. It's like Star Wars kind of thing, only a holographic projection instead of a death beam, basically.
And then like fake Ebens coming out of it, robots and like biologically created.
Well, there's definitely going to be a robot apocalypse. That's for sure. So that's coming for sure. Yeah, AI is coming for your job for sure. Yeah. AI is coming for you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I always have this. I always have this theory. Like ever since I watched that 3 Body Problem, learn more about it. It's making me think that there has been some truth to what we've been experiencing and seeing with the UFO field and its connection to the military and this possible Greta treaty. That truly, our government has its hands tied and being controlled by this technology, and what we're seeing with phones and Xboxes and AI. Like AI to me is a direct connection to an aliens or other spirit or entity where these computers are being force fed all this information into a mega, to mega computers that are pretty much like data blocks for these higher dimensional.
I gotta stop you here. Hang on a second here. Okay,
what's your thoughts?
No, I mean, okay, you were starting. You at the beginning of this thing, you started. Okay, government. That was the key word. You said government. Again, it's not the government. I mean, this thing that we.
That's true. You're right.
It's just mafia. Okay, it's the mafia. All right. So the mafia that controls the government. They have basically from day one. This is total Epstein stuff. It's just like your human genome thing. It's all part of the same thing. Like Palantir trying to create this database of humans, trying to create this surveillance state, trying to create the digital currency, the credit system, the AI to replace the workers, the robots, all that shit. It's all part of the same damn thing. And yes, it is all run by this mafia, because yes, this mafia is satanic, and yes, this mafia does want to kill you, because they need to kill 7 point whatever billion people by such and such a time. That's always been their plan. It's really damn simple. But the thing is, as soon as you start saying things like government, then you forget what it is really and who's capable, because you actually, when you say government, you like kind of think for a second that you got some kind of control, or there's some kind of, what the funny thing is, when people think that there's police or military or FBI even that are going to rescue somebody, it's like the people in the Trump crowd who somehow think that they're going to say, oh yeah, sure, children are being kidnapped, they're willing to accept that, but now they think that the police and the FBI, under Cash Patel, are going to actually rescue those children. Never mind that the CIA is the ones that are actually kidnapping them, and the military are the ones that guard bases where the children are kept, and they're fed to the actual government. They've been doing that since like forever. So it's like, people are really, really stupid.
Yeah, the term government it's very what's the word? There's not much to it. Yeah, no. There's not much to it anymore.
There's just mafia. People need to get used to that stuff. Well, you look at Trump. I mean, come on, seriously. Baron Trump makes $1 billion short selling oil by standing over his dad when his dad says, okay, I'm going to make a trade. And as soon as the trade's done, Dad closes Strait of Hormuz, and suddenly Barron makes $1 billion. I mean, that's illegal. Any one of us that try to do something like that would be put in jail. But they're doing that right in front of everybody in the whole world, and they're not hiding it. And everybody in the whole world knows that Trump's a pedophile, and knows that he's killed little girls and little boys. He's actually eaten some of these kids, and that all these people in his cabinet, like Lutnick and fucking Gates, and take your pick, Elon, they've all done the same thing. None of them are ever going to face justice. It's like the royal family. I mean, come on. The Queen got to live out her entire life without paying for the children she's eaten. Same thing with King George and Andrew. How many children do you think King fucking Charles has eaten? I'd say at least 5,000 by now.
He looks sick.
He's probably eaten quite a few kids. And guys like David and all these guys, they were propping that shit up. And it's like, you look at his last video. What does David say in his last video? He says, wow, those kids that they're killing in Palestine, it's really awful. But gosh, it's the Jews. We got to love the Jews. They're number one. They're our allies. And that kind of bullshit. It's like, really,
Right.
David? Pull your fucking head out.
There's a lot of fuckery.
And then there's Corey Good on his page saying, oh, yeah, Michael Flynn is our man. Really? NSA is your people?
Nah, Flynn's a bitch. Okay, so I'm just continuing on with some of this right here, just to see where we can go. Like he was a director of advanced technology and a board member of Stavati Aerospace. That's the first time I've ever heard of this aerospace. But I did hear.
Who was? Who are you talking about?
So this is Wilcock. People are saying in his biography that he was a director of advanced technology and a board member of Stavati Aerospace.
Bullshit. Obviously, it's bullshit. What do you think that means? That means a little think tank of idiots that tried to imagine alien craft and crap that they could try to sell to the government as if they had some sort of actual source to alien technology through some fake psychic. I mean, come on, it's bullshit.
Exotic propulsion and advanced aerospace.
I actually had a company that did fucking aerospace and actually did sell to the government and actually did be involved in light speed production. You know, I mean, little things like that, but nobody wants to talk about it. I was the only one in this industry who was fucking real, dude. Seriously. I mean, the rest of these guys were fucking fakers. I mean, seriously. He's trying to sell himself as some sort of expert in technology because of what? Psychic skill and ability to fucking meditate and get words from aliens? He's never had any interaction with aliens. Hell, I interacted with aliens twice. I would
assume he was taking money from some political party.
The mafia. The mafia, the Satanists. Yeah. That's the political party. He took money from Carrie Cassidy.
Can you tell me about this Carrie Cassidy? You mentioned her a lot.
You don't know Carrie Cassidy?
I've heard of the name. I've heard of the name. But is that red-haired girl?
She's doing shows tonight. No, that red-haired girl was actually Carrie Cassidy's assistant for an event that we were doing.
Did she die?
The red-haired girl? Madison. Her name is Madison. I don't remember what happened to her. She lives somewhere else. She moved. She had issues too, but I remember this event. I'll just tell you a little story. Okay, this event, the event that was in that picture that you showed, my arm around David, or David's arm around me. That was right after I told David that I was going to be his security for the event. Because if you look at that tag, I have two tags. One tag says speaker, but under that tag, it says security. So I actually was packing a Glock at that moment, and I had to interrupt David from talking to that redhead. That he was being a creep. Seriously, he was being a creep. I come up to him because it was my job. I was being security, right?
Fucking hear from
David, listen to me. I come up to him at this. We were at this hotel where the event was at, and he was in the bar talking to the redhead, and I'm like standing there. David, I need to talk to you. David, I need to talk to you. He's like, yeah, whatever, yeah. He wouldn't stop talking. I hate that. That is so unprofessional when somebody won't stop talking. I mean, a professional speaker knows not to do that. You got to acknowledge everybody around you. You can't just ignore everybody and talk to one person. Really rude. Anyway, I finally interrupted him and said, David, listen to me, damn it. Let's only take a second. I'm going to be your fucking security. My job is to kill anybody that tries to hurt you. You know, that, and Carrie, there's certain people that we had to protect. There was Carrie, David was one, and there was Arthur. What was Arthur's last name? Arthur was some guy that she was bringing in. Do you remember Arthur? Probably not. I could look it up, but it doesn't matter. There was a guy that she was bringing in from, I don't know, Malaysia or something like that. He was like a whistleblower that was, paranoid, whatever. But I had to protect him too. and just watch out for idiots at that event. There were idiots. Some guy showed up at the event with a, let me see what he showed up with, a big knife and a baseball bat. Seriously, a guy came into a guy came to the event with a big knife and a baseball bat.
Besides the weapons, I do hear a lot about these events and these conventions where in some of these events there are mysterious figures showing up, you know, some like Men in Black type people. Not just that, but there are some entities. And if we're looking at like even
I've got them on film, dude. I've got bona fide fucking aliens on film at one event.
And this is even from this is from my friend with my podcast, and I've had her on multiple times. Sherry Ariano, she's been at a couple of these events, and she's talking about Stephen Greer and how he is by far one of the fucking weirdest vibes. Does not feel like a human. I'm looking at like some of these people, like Stephen Greer, how all of the people around him have died. Seemingly, he's the only one alive. He's a fucking. He must be a Fed. Like, but he could probably be an alien too. Like,
all right. Stephen Greer. Okay, first of all, as far as the alien thing is concerned, it's very possible some of these fuckers that are. If you could see some guy like that you're talking about, he says he's not acting human, he's acting weird. Yes, there's a good chance that fucker is a fucking Draco. Okay, I've run into two people like that. Okay, both of them were weird as fuck, and you could tell they hadn't been humans very long because they did shit kind of weird. Okay, all right, and then. But the other thing about Stephen Greer is that he, from day one, has worked for the enemy because he even took money from Rockefeller at a very early date when they gathered up all these so-called, whatever you want to call them, New Age truther types, and he was one of them. And they basically
pass that as a rumor.
It's not a rumor. There's fucking photos of the motherfucker. Okay. There's photos of him. He's been a fucking con since day one. He's always
dirty reptilian slimy lizard.
Yeah, well, David is kind of up in that category, to be honest with you, but God rest his soul. You know what? He should have just talked to me. All right, let me just tell you this, okay? This is more important, I think. When Sean David Morton died, he had throat cancer, and I approached him and said, "Dude, I'll work on you. I'll do healing if you want." And he said, "Yeah, you know, he could talk, he could type. All right, he could type." And I said, "But here's the thing. You spent your whole life lying and saying bullshit, and now you've got this ridiculous throat cancer." I said, "Part of your healing is going to require that you actually have to tell the truth, and I'd like you to come on my show and do that." Anyway, he didn't want to do it, and instead he went on Kerry Cassidy's show and spewed a bunch of bullshit. Died so eventually. Okay, so I would have said the same thing to David. I would have said, you want to save your life, you want to save your future, you want to have a future, you want to lose the guilt of having spewed all that bullshit for your whole life and have nothing to show for it. Join me, join my cause, lend your voice, your however many thousand followers you have to my cause, eat a little crow, admit that you were fucking lying, and join me. And yeah, sure, he would have lost Kerry Cassidy, and most of his fucking followers would have fucking blown the fuse and thought he's gone nuts and that the CIA took his brain or some shit. But no, that would have been his salvation. Okay? Seriously. Any one of these fuckers, I will say that to any one of these assholes out there. I said this to Craig Sawyer. Okay, Craig Sawyer, he's a killer. Awful, awful person. I told him the same thing. I said, if you join me, all will be forgiven and I'll protect you. Hell, if fucking David had called me, he'd be sleeping on my fucking couch. You know, seriously, we'd be feeding him. We'd be getting him fucking money. We'd find out what he owes. We'd help him sell that fucking property. We'd take care of whoever was causing problems, like his fucking wife or whoever the fuck was causing problems. Now, if he owed $1 million for some bullshit because he conned people and got screwed, well, that's called bankruptcy, dude. And if your ego is the only thing keeping you from doing that, my God, right? I mean, he must have had some value still, you know. And to me, yeah, that value was, say, oh, I don't know, telling the truth and helping me with the only mission that's going to actually save the earth, instead of being a fucking loser trying to take people's money like all these other idiots for all these years, like Corey Good is still trying to do.
I can't believe he's still on the internet. There's a lot of people who have a hot minute of flash, and some people get banned, some people die out.
Right. Just
That's
today.
them right there.
All right. Let me give you an example of bullshit level. All right. Just today, Carrie Cassidy does a show. All right. Again, you don't know Carrie Cassidy, but trust me, she's higher up than David Wilcock. Okay. Anyway, and who does she have on her show? She's got Karen Ann McDonald. Now, if you don't know who she is, she's like another old timer from back in the day, but she's another bullshit artist who calls herself the Klan Mother, who says originally she's all about
That's a cultic.
whatever, saving children who have been abducted in Canada.
So she traffics children then.
No, she's not trafficking. She thinks she's some queen, but she's whatever. She thinks she's a truther. Anyway,
Hey, a lot of those people who say that they're saving children through those organizations like Ashton Kutcher.
Obviously not. Well, the point is that I turned on her damn stupid recording to listen to what she was talking about because people told me she sounded like a retard. And the first thing I heard out of her mouth after coming to look point, sticking on a random section of the recording, was her talking about super soldiers and Casbolt, Michael Casbolt, or whatever his name, James Casbolt, so-called super soldier that fucking went to jail and whatever, and his buddy Max Spears, who died of, black goo, whatever, in Poland, who both those motherfuckers were involved in a fucking event that took place in fucking Vegas over there at Henderson, okay, the famous super soldier abduction at Henderson, Vegas. You ever heard of that story? And coincidentally, if you're going to talk about death, let's talk about James Rink, the other big name that just died here recently. Okay, did we all forget about James Rink?
These guys are all connected.
Let me tell you something about James Rink. Listen, let me tell you something. Okay, James Rink had this thing called the Cube. You ever heard about it?
Which type of cube?
I don't know. He said it was some kind of alien shit. He'd been pushing that thing for some time.
I think.
Well, the last time I saw James Rink, his cube got stolen. Now that James Rink is dead, I wonder where's his cube? What's going on with that stuff? And again, like I said, those are the big names. James wasn't even a big name. I mean, he was like James Rink was not a David Wilcock or a Jordan Maxwell or a Sean David Morgan or even a me, but he was still a big ass name. So you talk about big names, and James Rink, of course, everyone says he was taken out by some sort of device or something, which is very, very possible. Andrew Basaggio, they took him out with a device. Earl Weber, Frank Lloyd, whatever's name, Weber, Andrew Lloyd Webber, I can't remember his name. One of that guy, they screwed with him.
When did Basaggio die? You said?
I don't remember. Andrew Basaggio?
I remember him. I remember listening to him.
Well, he got screwed with too. Okay, everybody got screwed with, but he was kind of a weirdo too. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, what can I say?
Well, so he didn't die. He just got
he got blinded actually.
Oh yeah, it says right here. Yeah, legal blindness, kidney damage, Whoa! It says due to radiation exposure.
They zapped his ass. Well, they pointed shit at his house, and he didn't have proper protection.
Right, but he was also part of Project Pegasus. Remember, he said.
Well, whatever. They eat their own. Okay, that's the thing you got to remember. They eat their own. Okay, that's why they can't touch me because I'm not one of them. But if you're involved with those people, yeah, when it's your time, it's your time. Even if you do it by yourself, I guess.
Do you believe that? So let's get esoteric a little bit. When we hear about like ancient stargates, or even nowadays where these scientists want to travel through wormholes or whatever, do you think that they're morally right? Do you think it's possible that these people are going underground into caves and networks to other lands, or they go into extra territories around extra territories and
extra territories,
or another world, go into space. What is your
I already told you what I thought. I thought that several of them getting shipped off to Area 51 type places. That's a for sure. and then some of them are just getting taken out and exterminated because they've served their purpose, they've done their research, they've provided the information needed, or they're not necessary anymore, or they're getting ready to share what they learned with someone else. They didn't want that to happen, or they weren't interested in taking a new job in Area 51, or maybe they had families and stuff that would have prevented them from saying yes to such a proposal, or they knew right away that they weren't predetermined to take such a job.
Well,
And
I guess
that's
my
why
question is, like Andrew Bastiago, do you think they're really going to Mars? Do you think they're really going to these other planets? Like, are they traveling through spaceships? Are they getting picked up? Are they going through wormholes? What black hole? Like, how are I'm 50-50. Because I don't know whether these planets really exist.
Right. Okay, first of all, fuck the flat Earth shit. Planets exist. Yes, they're
right.
going to Mars, and yes, they're going to the moon, and I'll explain to you how that works. First of all, there's no such thing as wormholes, but what there are jump rooms. Now, this is alien technology, and I'll explain how it works.
I thought wormholes existed.
No, it's not wormholes.
Damn.
It's bullshit. They made that shit up. Anyway, okay, here's how it works. It works using quantum coupling. First of all, quantum coupling of electrons. Okay, it's basically what the same technology as quantum computers. So the technology that's going into trying to develop a quantum computer is basically all of human math and everything up to that point, because basically quantum computing is the progression into the quantum. Quantum is infinite. Now, so all our advanced math, probability, relativity, all that stuff. This is quantum stuff, and it's all trying to solve stuff that essentially doesn't exist. Like tensors, vectors, and all this bullshit. So anyway, so what this means is that in order to have like a qubit, which is the basis of a quantum computer, you have a qubit. You start with a single qubit. The qubit is either an electron or photon. Okay, it's a single particle, isolated. However they do it, there's many ways to do this, but anyway, that's the idea. They isolate one of these particles, and then what they do, they take that particle and they screw with it in such a way that particle stops being what it's supposed to be. Okay, so basically what it is, it's a single particle. Okay, it's not spinning around a proton, it's just sitting there vibrating, doing its thing, being what it is. The closest way you could assimilate it to what it is in reality is string theory. Okay, it's basically a string theory, but it's solid. Okay, if you were to take that little vibrating string that they talk about in string theory, it would be this little ball thing that was basically moving around. So they take this little ball thing that's moving around, which is this ion, and they screw with it either by through oscillation or microwaves, whatever the hell. Anyway, they screw with it until it stops moving the way it's supposed to move. Okay, so in other words, if it's spinning a certain way at a certain speed and a certain orbit and all that, they'll knock it out of orbit or they'll make it wobble. Okay, and the idea is that they're trying to do is they're trying to introduce a abstract movement. Okay, so in other words, instead of spinning around or doing whatever it's doing forever and perfectly, and now and making itself what it is, what it's called is initialized. Okay, initialized matter or hard matter or real matter or what you call reality is basically something that is initialized. And by initialized, that means it's basically got instructions that tells it what to do or what to be. Okay, if you de-initialize it, now suddenly it becomes soft matter and it's waiting for instructions. That's your string theory going, okay? So what they're doing is they're taking these things and they're knocking them until they're de-initialized. And once they become de-initialized, they have the ability to be anything, okay, anything, infinite anything. Now, infinite is a concept that's probably difficult for humans to understand because infinite is infinite, which means if you're saying this thing could be anything in infinity, obviously stuff that is reality, then it can be anything. And so in other words, if you're trying to answer a computer question,
and this is go to Mars.
You want me to skip to that part? Fuck. Okay. Whoa. All right, I
Well,
won't tell you how.
we're all fucked. I mean,
all right,
like,
all right, I'll tell you how to get to Mars. All right, fuck. All right, look, here's the rule about quantum computers. So, in order to make a quantum computer, you have to have the ability to take that particle and deinitialize it. Okay, and then you have to be able to have a machine somewhere in the galaxy that can basically recreate that particle, reinitialize it. Okay, and the reason why
fucking
that
beam
works.
me up, Scotty.
Yes, exactly. Beam me up, Scotty. Okay, so that's exactly what that is. All right, now here's the thing. The first trick is to do it with one damn particle. Okay, and then they'll call that a quantum computer. But if they can take that particle and put it back to normal, you know, make it stop.
They've successfully done that already.
Well, that's what it is. Okay, so what that is that's taking a particle and turning it into a wave, and then turning that wave back into a particle. See, that's particle wave physics. See, so when it's a wave, it's like a radio wave, and it becomes information. Okay, radio wave is information. It's a sine wave. It's information. Okay, but particles like matter. But anyway,
so they can send actually reverse that and send bad waves and bad signals into us.
Well, of course they can do anything. Remember, infinity.
So they do.
Infinity.
Oh wait, yeah, they already do that.
Infinity is infinity, man. Come on, man. Infinity means infinity. Don't you understand? That means whatever. That's why they're so afraid of it.
I have heard many times though, Gene Roddenberry was very, very much friends with a lot of the people with these, high aerospace military type people who were studying a lot of these technologies, and he was incorporating a lot of the technologies into his programming.
Well, of course he was. Of course he was. They did it on purpose. Come on. They made friends with him so that they could fill him with stuff. They still do that. They did that with whoever. Take your pick. Star Wars. What's his face? Talk about people like to talk about not Francis Ford Coppola, but the guy. Oh, the moon landing.
he fucking goods himself out. Oh man. We're gonna go down real quick. I'm gonna play this 76ers highlight, man. Oh yeah, you're gonna make me trust the process. Oh fuck, you're gonna make me trust the process. Oh fuck, you're gonna make me trust the process. VJ Edgecombe, hey, shout out to the youngest rookie with 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 threes in a playoff game. Ain't no other rookie has had 30 points and 10 rebounds in a playoff game, I believe, since Magic Johnson. Or he was he's been the youngest since Magic Johnson. That's fact. Here, let's see this shit.
And then the extra for style points. Take a little bit of contact, wrap that thing around. He is taking that thing all around.
Savage. So what we got next, the BBC has uncovered a pattern of market spikes before Donald Trump's public announcement about Iran. $100 million. Fucking Trump. Fucking Trump. All I know is that there are some people in this goddamn organization, and you're here. So there's some people in this current political organization that we got in this White House who are making bets like an hour or 5 hours or 6 hours before they make a goddamn military action and before they're making moves. And so there is clear evidence of insider trading within the White House, and these guys are fucking stealing our money, selling us to the Jews, fucking ruining our country, making the whole world hate us. So yeah, fuck these guys. Fuck these guys, for real.
Fuck these guys. Dude.
Hey, but there was a cool gathering yesterday for 420. Look at this. Hey, this is Manhattan, New York. Look at all these people out here. This is awesome. Yeah. Everybody's high. Just having a good time. Ain't nobody fighting. Ain't nobody thinking about bombing children here.
So weed's legal in New York.
Yeah, it is.
How much more free stuff? I don't know.
That's a cute
So,
hat.
this is a good time, guys. You know why? Because out here, ain't nobody thinking about bombing children at this weed event. But our American government thinks about that when they go to
They
war.
should be. They should be thinking about it. They should be saying, fuck that, right? Fuck.
Anyways, Gregory Little dropped his 3rd edition of the Illustrated Encyclopedia of Native American Indian Mounds and Earthworks. I've had Greg Little on my podcast. He's a very cool, awesome, great researcher. Next up, we got this is something that people have been talking about for a while. It is now declassified that the CIA has created Lyme disease at Plum Island with Nazi scientists and released the ticks. Man, let's see.
We already had documents. Now it's totally confirmed. What type of government
Trump
pulls crap like that? You know how many people I know who had their lives devastated by Lyme disease?
Actually, no. So I know I have a buddy.
It's tick-borne syphilis. That's what it is. They just don't freak you out when they tell you that. Eat your joints, eat your organs, eat your brain. I have family. One of them on a rock climbing thing in Oklahoma about 15 years ago. Great shape, wonderful. Got Lyme disease, didn't know it for about a year, went undiagnosed. By the time it took them 6 months of antibiotics to get rid of it, ate their joints and had an effect on the brain because it's weaponized syphilis. Syphilis will do that to you. Yeah, you don't just get syphilis in the old days from a prostitute.
What?
You get rot holes all over your body and bloody holes in your hands. That's the old-fashioned. Lyme disease is weaponized, so it doesn't show up on the surface as much. It shows up internally.
What the fuck?
Yep, got the declassification right here. I can spend an hour on that. Just to show you, if you think the government was evil back then or compartmentalized groups of it, imagine how evil it is now.
Oh, shit. Man,
Compartmentalized groups, my ass.
Yeah, I don't know Lyme disease kills you from the inside like that, but I do have a friend, and me and him have talked extensively and about his Lyme disease and how to cure it and how to treat it. He has actually found remediation, and probably soon there's going to be ways to combat it and probably just eradicate it from our body. Hopefully, that is fucked.
Oh, CRISPR.
But what we want to know. Oh, fuck yeah. CRISPR has already over in Japan removed like autism or some shit. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. Autism is from vaccines, so no vaccines will remove autism. Come on.
I don't know what they said. It was
vaccine to remove vaccine produced.
All right. This is interesting right here. This is a pyramid, one of the old ancient archaeological structures. What we're seeing is something far greater than what we can produce these days. I think once we understand our past, we will truly go forward. Nick Shirley is currently being outed and wanted in California because he's trying to expose them and their corruption and their mafia racket, mafia protection racket.
Nick Shirley. You know what? He's out in California in my neighborhood. The motherfucker hasn't come and seen me, dude. Seriously. If this guy was serious about doing some shit, he would have looked my ass up. I mean, fuck this little pussy. Seriously, Nick Shirley, my ass. All he wants to do is make fucking views on YouTube. This motherfucker doesn't know shit. If Nick Shirley knew shit, he's talking the type of corruption that he's talking about with his stupid Somali crap. That's whipped up by the fucking government. That's crap. Now he comes out here supposedly trying to attack Gavin Newsom. You know what? That's called fucking Trump. Because if you want to attack Gavin Newsom, you attack the property developers and you go up north in fucking Sacramento, where all those property developers are raping the fucking land, and now they're going to come down and start doing the same thing in fucking LA area. That's what Pacific Palisades was. No, they're
Yeah.
working on it. But
No,
dude,
by contract they did. Didn't they buy it already?
didn't I tell you about the whole mafia slush fund thing that they use when they make these planned communities? And
Right.
they have all
No,
these.
yeah. So I thought they already bought it by cash with the Palisades in those
What are you talking
areas.
about? You talking about the fucking Pacific Palisades?
Yeah, then isn't it already all bought out by these investors?
Well, yeah, but we say these investors, there's only certain kinds. I mean, there's these big developers, but the thing is nowadays these big developers are funded by these hedge funds.
BlackRock,
And
Vanguard.
BlackRock is one of them, but there's all kinds of hedge
Vanguard.
funds. It's like fucking Jared Kushner or fucking whoever. They've all got these damn funds, Ray Dalio, take your pick, There's all kinds of money that comes out of Northern California, obviously Silicon Valley. There's all those tech bros, they're billions of dollars. They're putting money into this shit. So yeah, like I said, it's all a big fucking mafia. It goes back to Epstein in the early days. It goes back to Robert Vesco. Before Epstein, there was Robert Vesco. Goes back that far. Okay, back in those days.
Frederick Trump, even his.
Frederick Trump has nothing to do with shit. Trump was just a fucking peon. Okay.
No, but wasn't his uncle like a pimp and a prostitute of brothel?
That's fucking have nothing to do with Robert Vesco and the mafia. I mean, the only connection that Trump had,
a brothel kind of does sound like a mafia connection.
dude. All right, look, he worked for his granddad ran a house of prostitution in the Yukon with a Rothschild. Okay, so yes, the Trumps and Rothschilds were closely connected, and that's where he made his original nut. And he went back to New York and became a slumlord and made the rest of the money, and that's where Donald Trump got all his money. Okay, so the grandpa passed it on to Donald Trump's dad. Donald Trump's dad was a fucking slumlord. Donald Trump became a slumlord just like his dad, only Donald Trump was mafia. First of all, Donald Trump's dad was Chabad. Okay, Chabad is mafia. Donald Trump isn't just Chabad. Donald Trump is also Chicago, New York, and Vesco Mafia. So in other words, Vesco ran the world mafia. Donald Trump was a pawn. Okay, but when Vesco died and went to jail, Donald Trump rose up in the ranks, and he's probably number one right now. But I'm thinking that fucking Jeffrey Epstein was higher than him. So obviously, when Vesco died, Epstein probably took over. That's what I think.
I think Epstein was really high in the rankings.
Yeah, I think he took over for Vesco. Vesco died in Cuba. That's why they hate Cuba so much, dude. That's why Trump wants to destroy
it doesn't
Cuba.
Make sense. Yeah, it doesn't. Cuba's a very key place, but
it doesn't make sense is because they want revenge for killing Vesco. Okay, Vesco died there. The head of the world mafia died there. They want revenge. Nobody sees that. They all talk about fucking communism like it means anything. No, the mafia is pissed off. The mafia is pissed off. It wants revenge. It wants to destroy those motherfuckers because they killed Vesco. I mean, you don't think they'd like to retrieve Vesco's body or some shit? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. He ran the fucking world back in those days, and fucking Castro had him in his jail. They're very upset about that. I had something to do with that, dude. I'll tell you what.
So it says right here, he died of... Let's talk about this Vesco. Right here.
All right. Okay, this is what I think happened with Vesco. You're having some bad feedback, dude. All right, this is what happened with Vesco. Don Nixon was Vesco's number 2 man. And Don Nixon was really pissed off at my brother. Because he stole a bunch of money. And he went to Cuba to have a meeting with Robert Vesco. So the Cuban authorities, all they had to do is watch Don Nixon, and Don Nixon took him directly to Robert Vesco, and they threw Robert Vesco in jail, and he died there. And the United States and the government, the mafia, is still pissed off about that. So yeah, I had something to do with their killing that dude. And why? Because he fucked me over. And so that's one of the reasons why they won't kill me, because they know he'll die. And so that's one of the reasons why they won't kill me, because they know That's just one of the ways you can die. Die in jail. That's just one of the ways you can, family dies. You die. Family, going to jail is one of the ways you can die for sure. You know who else went to jail? Roger Stone. Roger Stone fucked with me. Or you can lose all your money. You know who loses all their money?
Roger Stone.
James
Roger Stone's an
Caswell. He
interesting
lost all
dude.
I'm getting some serious feedback.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me go ahead and reset my mic. Bam. How about that? Is that better?
Echo. Yeah, it's fine.
Cool. There we go. Yeah, it even showed up laggy from my end. So right now, you're talking about this Vesco and this mafia. What we're even seeing is the same thing with Venezuela and Iran and these places where they were powerhouses for where they were. They had oil, but they also had they.
What does this have to do with Vesco?
No, well, so just over to or over corruption.
Corruption. Well, there's no corruption in either one of those places. I don't know where that comes from.
You don't think that? No, like us.
I think that was bullshit.
America going in and
that's us. That's us. We're the corruption.
That's what I'm saying. Nowadays, America is the corruption going into Venezuela.
Well, whatever the Venezuela bullshit's going on, it's because of us. That's all bullshit. I have no problem with Simon Bolivar or Bolivarist governments. In fact, the whole history of South America has been one of revolution, and it's nothing but imperialist powers. In fact, it was a damn Scotsman. I think it was not an Englishman, but I'm sure he might have been Scottish. But he was that movie they made, Commander, whatever, Russell Brand, not Russell Brand, but I'm talking about, played the role. Yeah, there was a daring Englishman, sea captain, that basically was responsible for liberating most of South America, the western part of South America.
Yeah, like after the 1300s.
Captain, commander, something like that.
After the 1300s, it seems like South America became a different world.
It's 1300. Well, I mean, obviously the Spanish conquistadors fucked everything up, and it was fucked up. Yeah. The fucking aliens and shit were running shit up until that point. But come on, hey, it's all bloodthirsty shit going on over there. But, so they replaced the bloodthirsty shit with some Christian shit that got brought in by Fernando Cortez.
It's more bloodthirsty Christian shit. It's just more different bloodthirsty shit. But the thing is, like, it turned it into monotheism, and it made everything bland and weak.
So now they got fucking Scheinbaum and fucking Millet over there to fix that, huh?
No, yeah, well, Scheinbaum seems to be against the Zionists a little bit, but Millet seems to be one of them. How
do you figure that Scheinbaum is against the Zionists? Where do you get that?
She's against America.
She's fucking Zionist as it comes. Yeah, Zionist. She's totally Zionist.
Scheinbaum is against America. So like,
against America, what does that mean? Scheinbaum is just a Jewish woman. It doesn't matter against whatever she says. It's just an act, obviously.
Right, but Malay though, he's Malay-Kowski. He's Netanyahu's cousin. So I don't trust that.
He's whose cousin?
Netanyahu's.
You think he is?
Well,
I've never heard that before. Netanyahu's cousin.
So. There's a little actually family tree I could show you. Malay-Kowski is like
that's interesting. That's interesting.
Is their original name? It's their grandfather's name, and I'm pulling up.
Hey, dude, let me share something with you. All right, let me change the subject. Fuck these guys.
Right.
Fuck these guys. I want to tell you something that's going on that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Because of the Iran thing, we've been trying to kind of get a hold of those guys who are doing the Lego videos, right? Because we want them to kind of help out. Now, I know that's kind of dumb because they're very Iran-based and they're not going to get it, but we still made contact with them, and they seem to have had some effect on them. But as a result, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Masons have decided to attack me, Stephen D. Kelly. And when I say the Masons, I'm talking about guys like Gary, what the hell is Grinsberg or whatever it is, 33, GG33 and all that. You know anything about that? Big Mason bullshit.
You said no.
GG33. All right. Well, let me explain to you
No, I
what
don't
it
know
is. Okay, this is
GG33.
You know the Tates, Tate brothers and all that.
Yeah, I know that they're his.
Okay, Andrew Tate.
Like
Okay,
his father's
Andrew
a Mason. Or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
There's other guys too. There's Andrew Tate. There's Fresh and Fit and Fresh. That guy, Fit and Fresh. You know him?
No.
All right. There's a bunch of people who are like influencers, if you will. They're male influencers.
Yeah.
And they're very big on Twitter. Anyway, so this is what they're doing. The Masons, aka the Satanists, have decided that Twitter is where they're going to recruit their future members. So what they do is they introduce people to a couple things. One of the things they introduce them to is numerology and gambling. Okay, and they use Bitcoin for this prop, but they use numerology to do this. This is what Gary's all about. And the other big thing they do is they try to tell these guys to recruit girls to be on, OnlyFans, and to pimp these girls out and make money. This is what the Tate brothers do. That's how the Tate brothers make all their money. They've got all these girls on OnlyFans, and they film porn, and they, slave them out. And so anyway, this is what they're trying to tell people to do. But anyway, Gary is, there's a name for what Gary is. He's like, he works for Mossad, but he's like the guy that works for Mossad for free. But he's also mafia. He's like Cleveland mafia, working with a Florida mafia. I've been talking to the FBI about this guy for a while, but point is, his big thing is Mason. Okay, he's also big in gambling and Bitcoin, but the Masons use this shit to launder money. And he fucked with me. The Masons fucked with me when I was on Twitter. And Gary started talking shit because it's been 2 years since I was kicked off of Twitter. But I was kicked off of Twitter because of Jew shit, not necessarily because of him, but he's trying to take credit. He's trying to claim to be some badass psychic warrior and all this shit, as if to suggest that he fucked with me in the spirit world. Anyway, I got word about that and, obviously let people know that I'm alive and well, first of all. But it turns out that one of the reasons why we think that he became all vocal all of a sudden is because of the Iran war bullshit. Because of the Iran war bullshit, I used to be on Iranian TV, press TV, every single fucking day. Okay. Anyway, so that is considered like treason, if you will. The FBI was at my front door. Was this melee? Fuck these guys. Fuck these guys. All right.
No. This is a picture showing them. So
they're Jews.
Yeah,
right?
they're all related.
They're you know why they're related? Because it's incest. It's incest. No, I'm not saying Jews, but I'm just saying these guys are all into the incest.
No, you said that for sure.
They're inbred, dude. They're all inbred.
They are, and it's been that way for a long time too. They even admit it. It's fucking strange.
Fuck yeah, they do. Look at the Rothschilds; they're all inbred. All
and like fucking 70% of them.
The royal families are all inbred. The reason why they're all inbred is because everything goes down through the women, and they have to marry one of the women. It's just like royalty also runs through the women. If you want to have a royal name, you want to have royal blood, your mother has to be royal. Because if your mother's not royal, you're not royal. So if the baby's not royal unless the mother's royal, a commoner cannot produce royal babies. This is something they don't tell you. Okay, because that would go against what you're being told throughout your entire life, that the king is important. The king's not important. It's all about the queen.
I thought
it's always been that way. Same thing with all the people. What are you, a communist? The same thing with Jesus. Okay, Jesus had a wife. Her name was Mary Magdalene. She was of the house of Benjamin. Okay, she was high-ranking nobility. Same thing with fucking Moses. Moses had a wife also. She was also, I believe, of the house of Benjamin. She was high-ranking nobility, but she wasn't the house of Benjamin. She was actually a Babylonian princess, okay? So in other words, this shit goes back the Roman shit goes to the Greek shit, which goes to the fucking Egyptian shit, which goes to the Babylonian shit, which goes to the Phoenician shit, which goes to the Lemurian shit, which goes to some shit that happened way, way before the earth was created type shit. Okay, this is how bloodlines work. So if you follow bloodlines back, you're going to get to Adam. Okay, and when you get past Adam, you start getting into, you know, aliens and shit. Okay, Lemurians and shit like that. All right, but these people who are all royalty, I've seen it before because I've known royalty. Elohim, that's a whole other fucking thing. Anyway, that's fucking mixed.
Even
that's
before the God. Well, the people
that has nothing to do with it. Well, that's fucking Jewish bullshit. That's Jewish bullshit. It's irrelevant Jewish bullshit. Okay, that's irrelevant Jewish shit. Okay,
so
bloodlines.
We should say the gods were before us, though.
No, come on, forget this Elohim shit first.
No, well, fuck calling him Elohim.
That's like Nephilim, Elohim, whatever. Who created us? The fucking all right. Again, you want to get into that shit. You got to learn Gnosticism and shit too, because you got to understand how the system works, and which is incidentally brings us back to David Wilcock, because he was one of the few people on Earth that I can say in memory that ever mentioned the fucking densities. And if you don't understand the densities, you can't understand who made us.
Hierarchical.
What the fuck does that mean?
Energy and souls and spirits.
Energy and souls and spirits. What the fuck does that mean? Doesn't mean shit.
Densities? Yeah, no, we're small.
None of that shit. I just said densities. If you don't understand densities, all this other shit is just bullshit words. Okay? And David, like I said, was the only person on Earth besides me that I've heard of ever talking about fucking densities. But that was a long fucking time ago. Okay? Period. Now, because nobody talks about densities, that tells me everybody's fucking retarded. They talk about dimensions and they use fancy words like you were just using, and it doesn't mean anything. If you don't understand densities, you don't understand 369. Okay, remember what Tesla said? It's all about 369.
Yeah, 369.
It's not Fibonacci sequence. Fuck, 369 has nothing to do with Fibonacci sequence. That's a whole other fucking thing. Okay, 369 is a single fucking thing. Okay? Single fucking thing. It's everything. It's everything. It's a fucking trinity, dude. Come on. It's reality. Fibonacci sequence has nothing to do with it. That's just fucking geometry. Fuck. I mean, it's like you go learn sacred geometry. That's a whole nother thing. That's like the Star of David. That's just sacred geometry. This has nothing to do with sacred geometry. 369. 369. We live on 3. What?
Tell us about densities.
Okay, densities. You got top 3 densities are the Trinity. Top 3, Trinity, 9, 8, 7. 9, 8, 7. 9 is the top. 9 is the Creator. 8 is the Holy Spirit. Below that is the Masters, Jesus, and all those guys. What is it? 6, 5, and 4. That is angels, heaven, and demons, in that order. Okay, angels are 6. That is the top 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's 369. Okay, you see how they say 369? They mean they use the top of the 3. The 3 is the top of the 1, 2, 3. We don't care about the 1 and the 2. We are the 3. The level above that, the angels, is the 6, and above that, 9. That is the Creator. That's the 9. That's the Creator. Now, you asked me about how creation works. First of all, number 9 doesn't just create things, but what does it do? It created 8. And 8 created 7. And 8 actually went all the way down to 1 and worked its way back up to 7. And that is the creation story. And that is the story of Lilith. It's the story of Lucifer. It is the story of Sophia. So if you're familiar with the story of Lucifer, you know about the so-called fallen angel. You know that the so-called fallen angel warred with God, did some bad thing, and ended up thrown down to the earth where he hid and became of the rocks, and essentially became of the first density of the rocks. That's the first density. Then he became plants and animals, second density, and then humans, third density, and worked his way back up to 4, which is where the demons are. And Lilith, if you know the story of Lilith, you'll know that Lilith was Adam's first wife, and that she fucked Lucifer. She fucked Satan. She made demon babies. That's where the demons come from. There's your so-called Nephilim. Okay. And because of that process, she was cast into the ocean, became a demon, and that is part of the whole creation story. And she was released during the fall of Adam and Eve, and she is the one that brings upon us today the killing of the children. The killing of the children, the sacrificing of the children, that's not Satan, that's Lilith. That's what Lilith does, because when Lilith got cast in the ocean, it was because she refused to fuck Adam. And when she refused to fuck Adam, God sent the angels, and the angels started killing her babies, and she said she would kill all the babies as revenge. Okay? And that's why they kill babies. Okay? And Lilith is that little girl on this cup of coffee when you buy Starbucks, and she's got the fish tails. That's Lilith. Okay? Lilith's a very angry woman. She's been scorned since a long time. And you know what? You know how creation works? Everybody goes back home. So guess what? Even Lilith gets to go back home. Now, I know that part of my job with this whole Occupy the Getty thing is eventually, when we take care of this one bunker, we're going to have to deal with all the other bunkers. And we're going to have to deal with all the fucking aliens and the fucking demons and shit. Eventually, we're going to get to Lilith. And guess what happens when we get to Lilith? What do you think happens?
Fucking beat her ass to smithereens.
You mean like a video game, the final boss?
Fucking send her to hell.
Send her to hell, toss her in the lake of fire. Well, trust me, a lot will get tossed in the lake of fire, and it's not as bad as you think, because you actually come out the other side clean and ready to go home. So the lake of fire is just a cleansing process, and there is no such thing as eternity. You do come out of the other end. That's a kind of important. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing to go to hell, because trust me, it hurts, but it's not what you think as far as this eternity crap goes.
I really don't think hell exists.
It's like, well, obviously it's bad, but it actually takes about 3 years to get through hell, and then you get to go be a
I think
big
it's like
guy.
purgatory.
No, purgatory is more like what we call heaven. Purgatory is like, actually, they got it all screwed up. Purgatory is what actually the fifth level of density it is. Okay, hell is the fourth level of density. Hell is where you go if you're one of these people that sucks in more energy than you give.
Hell is McDonald's.
Hell is McDonald's, he says.
Yeah. Hey, no, it's like remember, the golden arches of ball, the golden arches of ball, the golden arches, they be chopping the babies and throw them in the food. Bad service, sloppy burgers.
Hell is what they're trying to make this like. That's what that is. Come on. Oh, look at that. It's almost 1 o'clock. Hell is the fourth density. That's where the aliens eat people all day, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's another show for another day. But I think we've had a great time wrapping up right now. We did good with this UFO paranormal.
All right, dude, I want to tell you one more thing real quick. We're making a video game, which is funny because I just saw today when I was looking up the David Wilcock crap. I looked Corey Good up, and Corey Good says, "Yeah, he's making video games and comic books." I was like, "Really, fucker?" It's like, "Oh, you're making video games out of your Blue Avion crap." But anyway, yeah, we're making a Getty video game, dude. It's badass. And let me tell you something about this shit. Because this is where AI comes in. All right, this is crazy shit. You know anything about
in the video game?
Yeah, we're gonna have all that crap, dude. It's gonna be like combination of Doom and Grand Theft Auto and what's another one? Call of Duty or something like that. One of those guys. It's gonna be a first-person POV, first-person shooter, kind of open world, underground. Yeah, and it's gonna be Getty. In fact, right now it's gonna be so Getty that I'm actually digitizing the art. That's what I was doing when you called. We found a program, dude. Blender? You know anything about coding and shit? No.
I don't code.
You play video games?
I do, but
okay. What? Just give me an example of video game you play.
Monopoly. No, I'm Halo.
Right.
Battlefield.
Halo. He plays Halo. That's probably
Battlefield.
Halo. That's Unreal Engine or something like that, maybe, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, we're doing 2.5D. We're using Blender and Godot. GD script, I believe it is a big. It's like basically you render the images, you render the maps, and then you write the code to tell everything what to do. That's how you build a game. But I'm building a Getty one. In fact, I've actually got maps. I've made Getty maps.
Saving children?
We can't do saving children because then that's not going to work. And there's no saving children. Come on, don't get this saving children bullshit. That's what the propaganda is. Come on, propaganda. The game is to basically get to the elevator at the bottom of the basement, and then eventually we decided it was actually too much to do first round of the game. We're going to make that the first round. Once you get to that, then you go to the bunker. But no, you can't save children. We're going to have dolls instead of children.
Fallout 3 had children and bodies in cages when we were going through the wasteland, and they were slaves.
Yeah. Children and bodies in cages. You think I should do that? Huh? Bodies of children. No, dude, we can't be doing shit like that. All right? Seriously. We can't have bodies of children. We can't have children in cages. You know what we can do? And this is what we are doing. We're going to use broken dolls to symbolize the children.
There you go.
But what we can do, and we
it's
will
like Bioshock. It's like Bioshock today.
I don't know what Bioshock is, but we're going to have like celebrities like Donald Trump, and we're going to have people. We're going to have all these fuckers. Jeffrey Epstein. We'll have him there and everything. We'll have we'll have everybody, and they'll be down there molesting dolls and shit.
This sounds like the game that you should research to get a glimpse of where you're going. Bioshock. So
where I'm going. This is my life, man. This is my game. I'm making my life, dude.
I get you. No, so the
weapons, everything.
The conspiracy behind Bioshock is that it's a very, very interesting game. It goes that it's going underwater to an underground city that the elites are building. So the elites build a secret underground city where they're hybridizing and testing on children, testing on their people. They're all druggies, they're all chemists.
All right. I got one question for you. You can look this up if you have a phone and you got Grok. Real quick before we end the show, you can look this up for me, okay? In fact, you can do it right now if you want. All right, Bioshock. First of all, how many variants came out? Bioshock 1, 2, 3, what?
Like 3.
3. Okay, Bioshock 1. All I want to know is how much did Bioshock 1 make first year? And then I want to know how many people it took to make it. And I want to know how long it took them to make it. And I want to know what engine they're using. But those are the first questions. First question is, how much did they make in the first year? Okay.
A lot.
Tell me what it is. Tell me what you think a lot is.
So they
use Unreal Engine. Okay, there you go. That costs money. Works great, but it costs money. We're not using Unreal Engine. We're using Godot, dude. Yeah, how much did he make? The other thing is like, who made it? First of all, was it a big corporation that made it?
I forgot the name. It says Take-Two Interactive.
Take-Two Interactive. Is that an independent label? Probably not.
Yeah, it's kind of like an under label.
Corporate.
It said it lost 30 million in the first year.
It lost 30 million in the first year. Oh my god!
But it gained it over time. Anyways, no, what I'm saying is the storyline of the game. The storyline of the game is very interesting. People were like,
dude,
"Is this
it
Epstein's
lost
Island?"
money,
and
man.
then
it lost money. It
was too ahead of its time.
No, because they did it wrong. That's why they did it wrong.
But yeah, the story was crazy good though.
Well, it wasn't. My story is crazy better, and it's real, and everybody knows it because they know me. Anybody that knows the Getty thing will know this and will want to do it. It's already going to be viral, dude.
See, you're gonna be using
Besides,
balls?
you know why? You want to know why that fucking game died, and you want to know why they lost 35 million? Because they had 35 million to fucking lose. And those of us that play games say, "Fuck those big labels. We don't give those companies our money. We go to independent little guys like the guy that made Schedule 1, which was one single man, and it took him however long to make that game, and he made 100 million the first year. Okay, first year.
What's Schedule 1?
Schedule 1 is one of the more popular games on Steam. So even a bad game on Steam still makes money, usually in the
Yeah,
millions.
Steam's cool.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steam's
Now,
cool like that.
yeah. So I plan on being on Steam, and I don't plan on having a bad game. All right.
Yeah,
I
that's what's
plan on
up.
having a fucking viral legend of a fucking.
I didn't
Getty.
know what you were making it on. Yeah, fuck yeah.
I told you
Steam's-
the Getty. It's based on the Getty. Only I'm not
no,
calling it the Getty.
I meant like Steam. I didn't know what console or anything. But you make
Well, obviously
computer.
Steam. Yeah, Steam is
Computer.
it. Yeah, if you're a gamer, you use Steam.
I got an Xbox. I don't use.
They don't cost that much to get on Steam, dude. It's only like $300 a year to get on Steam.
Yeah, but do they have it for Xbox?
Of course they do.
Oh shit!
You can get it on all the consoles.
So I can
right?
play.
Yeah, you can play my game. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to try to come out with this thing in as soon as possible, dude. Really. You know what I mean?
All right. Hey, you know what? That sounds
Oh,
like.
all right. Here's what I wanted to say, though. Here's the important part. You can do everything using AI now. Everything.
Yeah.
And now I'm not talking about AI art because I despise AI art. But you can take an image of something, anything you want, and you can feed it into AI, and that AI can be fed into your rendering program like Blender, and it will create an object that you can interact with in a game that looks exactly like the real thing in real life. And you can populate your game with this shit. And it's like, what stuff you can do now? It's incredible. And trust me. Okay, here's what I'm doing. We're doing a Getty game, right? And when this game comes out, it's going to coincide with the Getty closing down for a whole year for the Olympics. So we're going to take all the art, all 450 pieces of art. Yeah.
It's closing down for a whole year.
Oh yeah, big red flag, huh? Yeah.
That's fucking.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about that. Huh?
That's weird.
Oh, we're big red flag. Ooga, ooga, ooga. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, hey, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, this is where the game.
On our podcast.
Yeah. Well, so all that art's going to be moved downstairs. See, during that period of time, because they're going to nuke us. That's what their plan is. All right. So anyway, so the game is going to be about the art moving downstairs, and there's all the art's going to be downstairs. And when I say all the art, it's all I'm going to have exact replicas of all the art downstairs, and you're going to fight amongst that shit, shoot holes in it, everything. That's where you look exactly. And not only does it look, it's not like a JPEG. It's like a 3-dimensional object with a frame and everything that you can move around and turn around and shoot, kick.
And you go down unlimited levels?
Stack up. It's my game actually has 7 levels, not counting the actual Getty itself. But yeah, there's a tram level where you get off the tram at the Getty, and then after that, there's 6 levels of basement. And as they go down, the levels get really, really, really big. In fact, it's so big. My maps are so big. Oh God. It's like Red Dead. You gamer, you play Red Dead Redemption. That's like a really big map. All right, think of the biggest map that you can think of. All right, here's the thing about
No
maps.
Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Well, that's okay. You're talking about an infinite map. It's not infinite, motherfucker. It's not infinite. Listen, come on, dude. All right, my map, usually in a map, they have this thing they call map to map. All right, so like you have a big map and you go from this point to that point, and it's map to map. Or if you actually had to ride it, it's like, let's say if you're riding a horse and you're riding across the entire map of Red Dead Redemption, it takes a long time. Or you're in a car and you're driving across the entire map of
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, exactly. It's going to take you a while. It's going to take maybe 10 minutes. But if you drive across LA in real life, it's going to take.
It's still going to take.
It's going to take an
3
hour.
hours. Yeah,
exactly.
It's still going to take a long ass time.
That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm making my map scale
and realistic.
It's realistic just is for the game. I can't make it realistic because I'm making a game here. All right.
Nah, you gotta include the homeless people with the poop.
No, it's all the inside of the fucking bunker. There's no homeless people in the fucking bunker, dude. There's only enemy that you have to kill. Seriously. And dolls, very sad looking dolls. Eventually when you get to the bottom floor, that's when you run into the celebrities and shit. But that's just a tease for the next version of the game where you actually go into the bunker. Oh, I'll have shit like Disneyland and fucking that
Hey,
kind
but
of
you
crap
gotta make
too.
hidden collectibles and stuff, and so
Oh
every level.
yeah, oh
Hold on.
yeah.
So then, if they get every
Skill
collect,
trees, all that
no,
shit.
if they get every collectible and hidden, and they unlock everything, there's a secret 8th level where you fight the deities and gods.
No, that doesn't come till the next game, dude. All right, first of all, we are going to have God mode, and we are going to have all that shit where you can turn down the power of your adversary, and you can turn down their hit points, and you can turn whatever the fuck, unlimited ammo, whatever bullshit, just so you can get through the game, because it's going to be hard as hell.
No, I want to go fight Murdoch on Mars.
No, dude, we can see. That's the thing. When you get to the very bottom of the game, we'll have portals. Okay, seriously,
Like Doom, yeah.
we'll have like Doom. Fuck Doom, dude. This is real. Okay, come on, we'll have that shit for real. Then you'll get to deal with Draco. Oh yeah, we'll also have the Jedi shit. We'll factor in all that 4D crap. And you know what? We'll get to teach people about fucking densities because nobody knows shit. So we use the game to teach. I'll include a whole fucking book in there and call it lore. It's got lore. We love lore.
These days, writing a story with a book and a video game sells well.
Dude, why sell the book? I'll just put it in the damn game and sell the fucking game. You know how much money we're gonna make?
Sell the book in the game as a
no.
Collectible.
Well, yeah, the book. Okay, well, the book you'll gain the book by experience, basically by reading the books. You'll have
Or
that book
you
on
can
your
only
bookshelf.
get the book by unlocking it with all the unlockables and by getting all the collectibles.
Dude, that happens. I just told you. You don't even unlock the library until you reach a certain point of the game where you've done all these things, and then you'll get books, and then you read all these books, and one of the books will be Jedi 101, which is my book, and that will help you learn how to be a Jedi, and it'll be there. And obviously, it'll be there to read too. Yeah.
So in the game, you can't read until you're a certain level. You're illiterate.
No, my book. You're not going to read my fucking book.
No, but you
don't
say
get
you
exposed
can't
to
access the library. So you're
you don't even get, dude. You don't get a lot of shit. You got to work your way up. You start out with a basic fucking gunsmith's bench. You start with a drafting table. You start out with a basic laser bench. But eventually, you get a fucking pistol range. You get a rifle range. You get an armor factory. You get advanced laser bench. You get a chemistry bench. You get a library. Oh, you get a weight bench too. You start out with a weight bench, obviously, because you got to be strength will be a thing. Obviously, you got to have strength. So yeah, you got to work out. So those will be the 4 things you're going to have at the beginning. But yeah, at the end of the game, you'll be making plasma beams, and you'll be stealing shit from the enemy, and you'll be coming back and tweaking your plasma beam and make it more deadly. Shit like that. But you got to have a skill tree. A skill tree. You build up your experience. You got to choose what you're going to study and shit like that. It's like shooting. You have to actually practice shooting to be a better shooter. You got to get into combat to be a better shooter, and will as you develop your items, like lasers. Obviously, I'm a laser dude, right? So you're going to build fucking lasers, and as your lasers get more advanced, your ability to shoot will become that much better. And I'm also an armored dude. Okay, so it's like that's part of the story too. You will make your own armor, and that shit will get better and better as you go. And eventually, you're going to even incorporate some fucking futuristic shit that no one even knows about that I haven't told anybody about. It comes from aliens, actually, it came from a guy with another density, not density, no, dimension. This dude came from another dimension. He shared this armor design. But anyway, stuff like that, And the plasma beam, that's fucking real. I mean, everything that I'm doing in this game is fucking real. The weapons are real. The secret weapons are real. The guns will be real. The lasers will be real. Let's see, what's not going to be real? Let me think about that. Oh, I'll have robot dogs and robot sentries. Those will be real. They got robot dogs with machine guns on their back. They'll be real. Oh, yeah, biometric entry and stuff. That'll be real.
Very interesting.
Anyway, it's a bunch of shit. It's gonna if you played games, obviously there'll be crafting too. Yeah, a little bit of crafting.
And this is just the start of it. So I'm glad that we can talk about this now. And later throughout this year, we'll go ahead and talk more about your projects or even more.
Well, obviously, we'll as soon as I get my first 3 scenes done. I've got the guys working on. Well, let me put it this way. I mean, I had a couple guys. I got a guy in India and a guy in Britain, and they're working
If you
on
need
this
help,
for me.
hey, yeah, if you need
Well, yeah,
help,
I need
voice
help,
or
but
acting,
you know,
anything.
yeah, I need voice acting. Why you want to do voice acting for me?
Yeah, I won't
Yeah,
charge
man.
anything.
I would. Yeah, if you want to donate your voice acting skills, you're hired. Okay, dude. Seriously, I'm not
I'm
kidding.
down.
All right, coolness. All right, but yeah,
Hey,
obviously
man.
there's going to be a lot of that. I know you want to go, but I was going to try to say. Oh yeah, this AI shit. I know people hate the AI, but it's like everything you can do. Coding doesn't matter what it is. AI will do for you just like instantaneously. It's even rendering this crap. If for one dude, if my guy in Britain who's doing all my rendering, if I had to wait for him to render everything, it'd take forever. AI fucking does it almost instantaneously. I mean, well, no, it takes about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Fuck, it's crazy, dude. Let me just. I made shit last night when we were doing these paintings for the Getty,
Yeah, I
and
can
we were
make
having some
your
issues.
web pages.
Well, no, I'm not talking about JPEGs. I'm talking about 3D interactive paintings that look just like the painting from the Getty. Exactly. High resolution, high def.
That's pretty sick.
And but here's the thing. The fucking company that made the software, we had some issue. We contacted them today and said, hey, what's up? And they looked at what we were doing and said, oh my God, how'd you do that? I said that you're not supposed to be able to do that. What'd you do? You know, so it's like we cracked this code. We're using 3D software to make incredible 2-dimensional stuff. It's actually 3D. It's crazy. Interactive 2-dimensional paintings of ridiculous. I'm serious. Every fucking 440 paintings at the Getty. We're gonna have every single one of them, and that's just the paintings. There's also the sculpture. We got that already. It's crazy. We're gonna have whole rooms of sculpture. You're gonna walk around and shoot in these things, and you'll be when the bullets hit the sculpture, they'll break. When you shoot the paintings, you'll get holes.
Well,
What do you think people are going to do when they get in a place like that? They're going to wipe that shit out. That's probably going to scare the crap out of the enemy, the Getty.
You got to make the whole building destructible.
No, you don't. Are you kidding me? You can't. First of all, you can't carry that much explosives, and yes, you are going to have to carry shit, and you will have to carry explosives because you got to breach doors, you got to carry grenades, you got to carry stun grenades, flashbangs, and you got to breach doors. Sledgehammer. No, you're not going to carry a fucking sledgehammer. You're going to carry.
I will.
Most shit. Oh, well, you can. All right, just for you. Good. All right, I'll let you carry a sledgehammer. I will let you. But no,
my secret character.
Okay, to going through concrete walls. The character needs to be able to go through concrete walls because it's going to be nothing but concrete walls. And sometimes that's the thing about maps. If they're too square and boxy, it screws things up. And the only way to stop that is either have some sort of a kill zone where you're going to die no matter what, and it forces you to go a weird path. And then you have to either get through a wall or find a door or a secret passage or something. We'll have all that shit, you know. But yeah, ultimately, you got to get 5 damn layers. And every time you beat the layer, you get to save the game. But I'll tell you one thing we are going to do is when you die, you'll keep your loot, and everybody you killed will stay dead. All right. I'll promise you that.
So level 2, you're fighting tranny clowns, right?
Tranny clowns? You want me to have tranny clowns?
Yeah,
I can put that in level 6. I'll put that in level 6 if you want.
Yeah, it'll be
Gay
level
tranny
6.
clowns? Gay tranny clowns. How do you know it's tranny if it's... Wait a minute. Are you talking about a female looking...
I don't know. Gay tranny clown sounds good.
That reminds me of that clown with the red nose and the suspenders in that lawyer anime with big boobs. What's that, clowny? I want me some clown. I'm feeling a little clown, a little corny, clowny. Well, instead of horny, they say something with clown based corny.
Hey,
you're not familiar with that anime?
Level 5 is the Chinese lab scientist in LA.
Oh, actually, I appreciate this feedback. In fact, seriously, if you want to give me some serious feedback, that's good. But yes, a lab is definitely good because some of the things like they got to do is like big data centers and all these CIA guys. But here's the thing: we don't need a bunch of NPCs. We are only going to have maybe 50 bad guys per level, give or take, depending on how big the levels are. Fucking big, man. They're huge. And like I said, as you go down, they get really huge. The 6th level is really big. And on the 6th level, you'll have you'll have, well, you're going to have the elevator entrance to get to the bunker below, which won't come until later, but you're going to have tunnels leading out to places like Playboy Mansion, Disneyland, stuff like that.
Dogman, Bigfoot. There you go.
No Dogman, Bigfoot, unless they're celebrities. We'll have fucking Jared Leto. We'll have Donald Trump. We'll have fucking Gavin Newsom. We'll have Gordon Getty. We'll have Epstein. We'll have people like that. People will recognize these people. You know how easy it is to put Donald Trump in a video game right now? I mean, it's fucking seriously. If I get 2 pictures of Donald Trump, I can put him in a video game.
Yeah, he's easy to draw. He looks like a duck.
Easy to draw, dude. If I put a picture of him, I can make a 3-dimensional Donald Trump that will do what I want.
AI.
AI. Yeah, you do have to use AI. Of course, you have to use AI, but you have to use Blender. You have to render it. You have to take that mesh. You have to create a mesh with basically polygonal structure to represent that thing, and then it has to be colored. So basically, you create a statue that represents that thing based on the 2-dimensional information in the picture, and they use contrasts and tricks. See, that's how we learned how to beat the software. We learned how to use contrast. That's one of the big tricks with AI is prompting, and we learned how to use visual prompts. It's not just verbal prompts; it's also visual prompts. But anyway, yeah, in other words, you can have up to 8 pictures. Like Vince, if you take a picture of a box and every side is different, you've got 6 sides you need to photograph. Okay, that's what Blender is. You feed that information into Blender, and it will create a 3-dimensional object for you. And if you've only got a single image, a line drawing or a cartoon or whatever the hell, in this case Getty Art, you can feed it into this program. I'm not going to tell you the name of the program because I don't want you to use it. But if you used it, then it would create a mesh for you, which is basically a 3-dimensional interactive object that represents that thing. And it's pretty fucking cool. I mean, seriously, it's cool. It's fucking cool. You could create people with dolls, or you could create very accurate 3D representations of somebody with just a couple
with facial expressions too.
Well, you can change the facial expressions.
Yeah, but it make ultra realistic faces.
Yeah, you could add code to make it do stuff. Yeah.
Honestly, this was an amazing episode, Steven. Man, hey, we had a wonderful time. Let's go ahead and wrap this up with a positive message. So say whatever you want to say.
Oh yeah. Okay, first of all, to all the dudes, what was that group again? Tinfoil hat, dudes. And all the Masons out there, fuck off. And to let's see, faggots, you're all butthole faggots. And then what else? To the guys that are still promoting Trump, you're fucking brain dead, retarded. And bottom line, I know I said this on my last show, if you're not supporting Occupy the Gay and you're not behind me, you're just dead meat waiting to die. And you really need to get behind me and get off the fence right now. Choose your sides. And my side's the one that wins. So yeah, you want to be on my side. Aside from that, join my group at Telegram, Occupy the Gay /DVD Kelly. Dude, we got a fucking store. You can buy Occupy the Gay t-shirts. It's called OTGitems.com. Seriously, OTGitems.com. You buy shit. Fuck on. You fucking buy one, I'll give you your money back after you buy it. No, I'm serious. No, dude, you hook up with me, I'll send you a fucking t-shirt. Go to the fucking store,
I'll do the voice acting for you.
Whatever. You want a fucking shirt, you look at the fucking art, and then you tell me which one you like, and then we'll hook you up, okay? At least pay for the postage. I mean, come on, don't make me. The postage on a shirt is going to be depends on how many shirts you get.
You got the one with Bush and the Jenga towers?
What do you mean what Bush with Jenga tower? I got my fucking art. Go look at my art. I got 12.
Okay, my bad.
I'm actually creating a whole bunch of new art.
Hey, my art is
your art at?
Where's
that? It's at my OTG items, OTGITEMS.com. Oh, you're gonna go check out my site? Go check out my site, dude. Pull it up, man. I mean, it's really basic. It's word perfect. I hate fucking what's that? WordPress. Yeah, fuck WordPress. I like the old days, HTML, dude. WordPress is a pain. See, that's another thing. I need people to know how to run WordPress. It's like anything nowadays. But you know what? Why don't they have AI that'll do WordPress for you? That's what I need. I need AI that'll do WordPress.
I can't find the
Wait,
website.
we need to create that. We need to create that. There's money. Oh, I shouldn't be talking about money in front of everyone because I have a tendency to shit gold bricks. You pick it up. It's on me, right?
Occupy the Getty Museum.
Oh, you found the page?
Good. I occupy the.
Oh,
No,
post it.
oh, there we go.
Dude, OTGitems.com. How hard is that?
OccupyTheGetty.org.
Oh my God. You can't spell, man?
OTGitems.com.
Yeah. Fuck. It's not hard to find. I mean, you know, it's a website.
I saw like 3 websites for you guys right there.
Dude, you know where the bar up at the top is where you type that shit in? It should go right there. Come on, man. Don't go to a search engine. Fucking search engine. You think the search engine wants you to find my shit? Come on. That's like eBay. I put shit on eBay. You can't. It doesn't even show up. It doesn't even show up.
Specifically,
eBay's the enemy, man.
Yeah,
it's the fucking enemy.
eBay and Amazon be hiding.
It's all the enemy.
They be hiding items.
You find it yet? Come on.
You got.
Oh yeah, there you go. There's the art. Oh, go to the top of the page. You're looking at the items page. You try to tell me which one you want. Look at you.
Right there, Christ is King.
You like that one, Christ is King? That is a very popular shirt right there. That's called Gothic Jesus, man. I like that shirt. Long sleeve. You want art on front or art on back?
We'll do the back.
Art on back.
Yeah.
These pictures here are all art on back.
I didn't even notice.
It has a Occupy the Getty on the front, but here's the thing: you could get Occupy the Getty on the back, and you could get the art in the front. I'm just telling you because most people they put the art on the front.
Yeah, we'll do that. What you recommended, Occupy the Getty on the back.
Either one. It's up to you. But yeah, Christ is King. That one right there, that is a popular shirt. Seriously, we've sold several of those. They're cool. Oh, dude, I got new art coming. We take this art, we create this art. Obviously, I got a team of people that do this, and then we pick the good ones and we send it off to have these transfers created. And actually, the transfers are coming back right now. And even of the art that you got right there, it's going to be better than a lot of that art's going to be actually better. But yeah, that's a badass shirt. Huh?
For all the viewers,
you want a long sleeve, huh?
Yeah, that'd be great, brother.
Yeah.
For all the viewers out there, I did drop the link in the chat. So if you would like to go ahead and support Stephen and the Getty Museum and the Getty Mission, you can go ahead and check out the Christ is King, and from there, check out the rest of the shop. Also,
I mean, we're not making any money off this. Any money that comes in will go into like more art, more shirts, and more inventory. So yeah, it's not like anybody's gonna get rich on this. It's just to spread the message.
Yeah, communal.
That's all. Lives. But yeah, I'll send you that shirt, dude. But dude, man, you gotta at least pay for the freight. The freight's gonna be for that thing. At least one shirt will be about $15. If you were to buy like 2 shirts, it'd be like a little over 2 shirts. I mean, it goes by the pound. It gets like to $20 really quick, even for first class, $25 to ship a couple of these shirts because they're heavy. They're Hanes, whatever the hell. They're not cheap. They're not cheap Chinese made shit. This is American made cotton, dude. Seriously, this is made American shit. It's heavy.
Yeah, those look thicker.
Yeah, they are thick. You can tell they're thick just by that picture right there. But yeah, I don't know if screw around. These are Hanes, man. This is made in America.
Good quality. Michael Jordan sponsors Hanes.
Yeah,
hey, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you. You guys go check out Occupy the Getty on Twitter. Right, believe so. Stephen Kelly, Occupy the Getty on Twitter. You can go ahead and I believe he has a
Google the name.
Yeah. You have Telegram. You have a Telegram open right now.
Yeah, well, Telegram is the damn Occupy the Getty / Stephen E. Kelly. You know, are you on Telegram? Seriously, are you?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Obviously, we talk. You got to remind people if they're on Telegram and using a phone, they got to clear their cache because Telegram will screw up your phone. Fill up your cache. Your cache, like if you open up a video or
No,
something on
so
Telegram.
why would it screw up your phone though? Sorry.
Because it's going to fill your cache up with stuff, and you won't be able. It'll be like clog your computer, dude. You gotta. There's apps you can download. They'll clean that stuff and keep it from becoming an issue.
They'll
But
slow down your phone. Yeah.
a lot of people, they put it on their phone, it goes to pain in the butt, they get rid of it, it's fucking up my phone, and that's why, because the cache gets filled up. So yeah, I'm just saying it's an issue if you plan on using your phone to use Telegram. I prefer a computer. Go figure.
Awesome. Hey man.
All right, dude.
You have a wonderful night. I hope you guys,
Right.
everybody out there, be blessed, be high. See you guys next
Cheers.
time on the 509 Divine Pines podcast. Peace.